Hello, and welcome to the Grand Finals weekend of SSOT 2024. I'm Bubbleman, and joining me is Doland for this, the first stream of two, the first day of two, day one, Doland. We've got a good show lined up.
We do. We've got a great show lined up for you here. Some great matches to come in this Grand Finals weekend. But we've got some exciting stuff planned for you here. Some exciting bits that you're going to want to stick around for. I'm sure you're going to love.
Yeah, so let's discuss how we got here. Let's go back. Let's take a look at the bracket. While we warm up, get our voices ready, get into how we got to this position. Suntan in Grand Finals, so they're not playing today. They will be playing tomorrow, and they will be playing the winner of the match that is happening today, which is I'm Korean 2 versus Chipi Chapa, happening in about an hour and a half time. But for now, we get to talk to you about how they got there.
Indeed,
it's been a long road for both of these guys.
Yep, and we see actually that Chipi Chapa advanced in their previous match. We were there for that one, you and me, against Jashin no Conre. They overcame the powerhouse of Xylus and unfortunately put that team's tournament run to an end. Quite an impressive lower bracket run. They end the tournament in 4th place, as we noted last week.
Yeah, and Chipi Chapa advancing to face I'm Korean 2 today, who we saw last weekend drop down into the losers finals, losing to Suntan 5-7. So it was a close one, Dolan.
Indeed. These top 3 teams, I think, people, that's kind of been the fun part about this tournament is everybody knew that these 3 teams kind of stood above the rest in most areas, just across the board. So to finally get to the business end of the tournament where we get to see these direct matchups and these teams play each other, they overcame the lower seeded teams and the worthy challengers, and now it's only the Titans remaining.
Yeah, and it has to be noted that these 3 teams are the top 3 teams in badge weighting. So these are the top 3 seeds if you want to take seeds by ranking alone. And, well, weighted badges and all that sort of stuff. So these guys, they have the mechanics to play these more difficult maps. But interestingly, Suntan, the highest badge-weighted team at 34 badge-weighted seeding, or badge weight, I don't know how to describe that, but they moved into the Grand Finals. I'm Korean 2 were in the upper bracket finals, and they were 2nd on badge weighting. And Chipi were 3rd on badge weighting, and they dropped down also against Suntan the weekend before. So, I'm Korean 2 might have qualified first place, qualified first seed, but it just goes to show that the qualifiers, especially when you get into the later rounds, maybe the consistency is there, but Suntan having that higher mechanics ceiling really doing them a lot of favors on these more difficult map pools.
Right. And although we know that qualifiers are designed to obviously be harder than the first round of the tournament in terms of difficulty as a map pool, they're not designed to be as hard as a Grand Finals. So we have kind of scaled to the point where now teams are really being strained farther than we anticipated in terms of the metrics from our qualifier data.
Yeah, and we have been joined by Semi, as you can see. Hello.
Hey, I made it back in time, and I'm glad.
Good job.
Yeah,
so what's your thoughts on the bracket? Have you been around for most of the tournament, or are you just catching up now?
Unfortunately, I wasn't available last week due to being abroad. However, I did catch up to a bunch of stuff that has happened recently. Before that, I mean. And so far, stuff's been going as I expected. I did believe that Suntan was going to make it at the Winners Grand Finals, which they are right now. And I'm very excited for the match at 16 between Chipi Chapa and I'm Korean 2. It's going to be an absolute banger, so of course, stick around for that one after every interview. What about you guys? You already said a lot, but
Yeah, I'm not surprised by how this bracket has gone. I feel like I wouldn't have been surprised if either team had won last weekend. So Suntan, I'm Korean too, both very even in my mind in terms of the skill set. Chippy, I guess lacking a little bit behind because they lack that 8th player. They only have 7 players on their roster. So if they would have been in Grand Finals right now, I would have been at least a little bit surprised. But looking at the roster that they have, it wouldn't have been much of a surprise, I don't think. How about you, Dolan?
I mean, I kind of anticipated that these 3 teams were going to do some damage, but it was exciting to see the challenge from Jashin no Conrei, a team that I got to cast their first match. So it was really exciting to see them come back and make a 4th place run. But just kind of looking at the rosters, I anticipated that these 3 teams were likely going to be the top 3. You can never assume because early round upsets are a possibility. But these 3 teams overcame those early rounds and just proved their dominance time and time again as the pools have scaled up. But as far as this match goes, because we have a match between 2 of these 3 teams, I think it could go either way, even though one team only has 7 players. But I would have to give the advantage to I'm Korean too, despite brilliant performances from Chippy Chapa.
Definitely the favorite, aren't they? They're going into this, you look at the roster, worst HR player, Rectagon, Henry. You've got players that have been performing at the top. You've seen their names on super teams before. And that's not to say Chippy doesn't have those players you've seen on super teams. Arnold, Whitecat, Intercambing, Ciccone. But yeah, there's definitely a favorite, I think, in the minds of everyone watching.
Well, and also you take into account Form's performance in 3 WC Grand Finals. I mean, that was just a sight to behold, carrying over that momentum. I mean, it's very clear that Form is in world-class form right now. Has not stopped playing world-class like since OWC last year, really. I mean, this guy is just on a roll.
Absolutely. You also have to keep in mind that the winners finals match was relatively close, and for most of the match, I'm Korean 2 has actually been leading point-wise. Santan ended up making the comeback and also taking the match. However, for most of the match, I'm Korean 2 was actually up in points. So while I presume that they are going to win the Losers Grand Finals, of course, regardless of who wins, it's going to be a banger Winners Grands match. However, I do believe that I'm Korean 2 can put up a bigger fight against them.
Yeah, I think you're both right. I think that either way, it's going to be a great match. I would be happy to see the upset. I definitely am in support of Chippy, Chapa. I always root for the underdog. You know me. Just seeing that team be able to put up the performances we know they're capable of would make me really happy, I think. But
they've got the star power to do it. They've got the star power to do it. And with the format of Stellar Series, they play their cards right. They very well could win this match.
But yeah, that's then. That's about an hour and a half's time. This is now. We've got some desk shows coming up, and the first of which we're going to be inviting Rafis onto the stream, having a bit of a chat, get to know his thoughts on the tournament, his thoughts on the past tournaments that he's played in, his career up until this point. Let's get Rafis on.
Surprise!
Whoa, there he is.
Hey!
He's huge.
Whoa!
Welcome.
I like this format.
It's brilliant, isn't it? How are you, Rafis?
Oh, we can't. You're still muted.
Oh,
you're still muted.
Streamer, sound guy.
No, he's muted in Discord.
Okay, hello, everyone.
That was his fault.
I was muted. That was my fault.
Nice.
I'm doing good. Thanks for inviting me. Drinking some coffee, caught up with sleep for the week.
Nice.
I've got a busy week with IRL stuff, so I'm glad I'm here.
What's been taking your time this week? If you can share?
It's
not too top secret.
Yeah. Like I can't go too much in detail, but like I do some projects at work, and one of them is like completely restructurizing reporting system that we have. So
paperwork, bureaucracy.
It's like, yeah, my head blows. you know.
Well, it's the weekend
I don't
now.
know, like-
You can take some time off. At least
exactly.
after we ask our questions. So what can you take us back through your journey from when you first achieved rank 1 to now? What's happened over those years?
Yeah, I mean, should I start from the very beginning?
If you wish, you can start from the very, very beginning to rank 1, or you can, because everyone knows you were the best player in the world for a while.
Yeah, it's been a really fun at first. Like I picked
Was
up the
it-
game in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, like my friends introduced me that I used to like spend a lot of time online. They introduced me to Osu. I really hated the game at first. Then I gave it a try like half a year after, and I stuck to it till now. So I guess yeah, it's worth it. If I would do the same if I had to choose again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I played a lot. I have like a folder, like you can have this hidden folder in your Osu. I have the same Osu installation since I started.
Right,
still.
yeah, so you've got all of the old replays, all of the old...
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly.
dedication
But,
right
like
there.
I could see that I've been spending like 10 hours daily sometimes, like on this game, just grinding it.
So was it something that you were aiming for was rank 1 when you started? Or was it
No.
something that just kind of happened?
It just happened. Like I don't know. I never really hit the wall back then. Like
Right.
I was just every day I gained some ranks until rank 1 basically.
Nice. That's a
Yeah.
great way of approaching it. It's
Yeah,
that
it was-
whole
I
please
just
enjoy
played the
game
game.
sort of aspect.
I just played the game and I naturally improved. Didn't really look for any advice. Just did my thing.
So then when you hit rank 1, you just didn't lose any motivation from it because that wasn't your goal to begin with.
Yeah, I mean it was really nice, you know, like
Yeah, well,
it's really nice, like getting the rank 1 and stuff. Like yeah, it kind of gave me a skill boost in some sense, like mental skill boost.
right.
And that's when I actually started improving, I feel like properly.
That's really interesting thinking about it then, because a lot of players, when they reach rank 1, it's their goal, and when they achieve that goal,
It was a side quest for this man.
What next? But yeah, rank 1 was a side quest for you.
Yeah, I mean it's from the perspective, like it's just one of the things that I accomplished, and it's I don't know, it's just
That's something I really didn't know.
So-
That's enlightening, actually.
cool stuff.
So I guess, with that in mind, I guess, was there a moment that kind of brought you that, a goal you achieved that made you sit back and go, oh my goodness, like, even though I've just played the game, this incredible thing happened. Have you ever been moved by an incredible achievement in the game, whether it be a score, a tournament win?
Yeah, of course. I mean, like getting the rank 1, like getting back the rank 1 in 2018.
Hell yeah.
One of the moments. Also winning OWC in 2017 after like so many like moments where we could have lost it and like still coming back on top. Like
In
That
such
was
a special
Incredible
way.
storyline, yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was like the community support from back then, like it was just incredible.
Yeah,
But
I had just gotten into the scene that time, and as an American fan, I just sat there stunned but impressed. I have to respect that. I was like, they ran it all the way back, and I bet that just makes it that much sweeter.
And also Wolf, you know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
It really
he
tied
played-
everything together, right?
he played
Yeah.
for so long and he managed to get that OWC win in his career.
Didn't he,
So.
after he won, didn't he say something like,
Yeah,
I finally got something from the game?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said like,
Yeah,
I think
he
he was
did.
talking to his girlfriend or something. He's like, 7 years, Alice. I finally get something out of it. It's a great clip.
Isn't it?
It was amazing moment. The backstory of me being in the bar prior to the match.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean,
it worked wonders for the nerf control. Not gonna lie.
yeah. Even this year, talking about that, when Malteser turned up to matches drunk and played out of his mind in this World Cup, what was the team mentality like in 2017? Did you know you could win it all? Were you like aware that you had the potential to go all the way?
No, we were not. We were counting on losing against US,
So-
honestly, but we still managed.
Another underdog story then.
Yes,
Another
then,
side
underdog,
quest for this
yeah.
man.
Another
We
side
wasn't
quest.
planning to. We knew we were strong then,
Yeah.
but it just happened naturally. Like we weren't really. So our mentality was really not like focused on winning. Just play our best and have fun.
Mm.
And then eventually it turned into like winning. You know,
Yeah.
like because we realized that it's possible.
Yeah. Do you remember the moment in that last match where you guys realized, like, wait, we can win this?
Yeah, I mean, because it was a bracket reset from what I
Mhm.
remember. Like we picked that last up, and like we just looked at the. I just looked at the leaderboards like by the end, and I was like, "Holy shit, we actually did it!" I screamed so loud, I slammed my desk from happiness, and I got police called on me by my neighbors because it was like in the middle of the night. So
That is deep lore.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Wow.
So you got to tell the police officer, no, I just won a World Cup for our nation.
You know, I didn't open the door.
Oh my god.
I like that.
It was fine.
I like that.
Nothing
a lot.
happened out of it. Like
That's
I
great.
mean, you're not in the same country anymore either, so they couldn't follow up on it.
yeah, I mean they couldn't anyways. Like they didn't follow. They could have followed it up, but they never did. So you know,
Do you think you'd ever flag change to Sweden?
nah, not happening.
No? Okay.
Nah,
Yeah.
never.
Fair play.
Like just from like a tournament perspective, I think I don't want to defend Sweden because they performed really well this year.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised. Like they played really well. But Poland has better options in general, I think, for OWC. But
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not even sure for how long I'll be playing OWC. But yeah, I mean, I still feel Polish, you know.
Yeah. Do you
I
think?
just live in Sweden.
Do you think you've got much left in you?
You mean like also wise?
Yeah. How many more years do you think you'll be playing the World Cup?
It's
In terms of like, do you think you'll be good enough for it?
Okay.
Isn't really the question because you're
Okay.
Rafis. But
so my favorite part about OWC is the vibes in the team.
yeah, absolutely.
And as long as this lasts, I'm in.
Mm.
If like key players don't really play, then I will not really have the motivation to play.
Mm-hmm.
Like because I just enjoy spending time with them and like hanging out like outside of OWC when there is this OWC period in the year. Like, you know, playing games together, grinding Overwatch together.
It's
like,
true, actually. The
that's
team
like-
vibes, they're
like-
built over time.
And
They're not
and
just...
the team vibes in the last 3 years are like the best.
What's your Overwatch main?
Ooh,
Hits
important
can,
questions.
Like Soldier McCree or Cassidy. I still live in Overwatch 1.
Yeah, the same way, bro. I'm a McCree. He's McCree
I'm
to me,
stuck.
man.
I'm stuck. And they have this like, you know, old person syndrome living in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah. And Zarya for tag.
Nice.
Good choices.
Speaking about your career path as an ex-number 1 player, former PP record holder, and all those multiple years that you have played OWC, what's your secret? How do you maintain yourself so well, still stay competitive in such an era where everybody just keeps, you know, improving more and more? You can see every single like a lot of players just pop up out of nowhere, popping off, you know, climbing the rankings and getting insane tournament performances. So what about you? What do you do? What's your routine?
It's I will lie if I say that it's a little bit demotivating to see like everyone getting so good and like so good so fast. And I kind of missed these times when I was like 15, 16 and I could like pick up a new thing and learn it in a month. Because like, yeah, that's how it is, you know, like I have much less time to play regularly now. I have a lot of IRL responsibilities, but it's still about the mindset, you know. You can't let your age or like other players like get to you, and you just gotta play your own thing and enjoy the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You grow up, you just get a lot more responsibilities, you have less time for the game. Yet I find it very respectable that you still are such a, you know, prominent member within the community, such a big face. You know, a lot of people you just know who Rafis is, man. Like that's just a name that like rings a bell immediately for a lot of people.
Yeah, the skin guy.
That Necrophantasia guy, man.
Do you
I
think
remember that VOD.
Do you think that is a part of your legacy, though? What do you think about that part of your legacy? I guess
Which one, the skin?
the skin guy.
Oh, that's so funny to me. Like,
Where did you get the skin from?
Especially when there's like some recordings, like for example, Section Pass is like my friend saying shit. Like I go into like Mbreak or like any other player, honestly, and I can still hear my friend recording from like 8 years ago. And the fucking Polish rap at the end as well. Like it's just so funny to me that it plays into like
it's
people from
propagated
all over the world.
Yeah, the higher community.
No.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah, it's just so funny to me.
World famous.
Yeah.
Where did the skin come from originally? What was it?
I don't know the exact origin. I don't know the exact origin because it was if I remember correctly, it was some either Korean or Japanese player, private skin, that got into hands of another Polish player, Sterum, that was like
old name,
quite known back in like 2014. Like he was climbing quite fast. He was actually one of the first people that got the 144 hertz screen in the Polish community.
Oh, really?
Wow,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was him, and it was AR11 player, like old AR11 player, like from 2013 and 2014, listless.
Yeah, I remember that name as well.
He got the 144 hertz screen, and that's when the idea of getting higher refresh rate came to my head from.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the meantime, there was a worst FL player, Adamkus. We both had like 60 hertz screens, but we started overclocking ours to get like higher 75 hertz, even 75 hertz, and we were grinding AR11 together. Like it was this thing that happened, and I got the skin from Sterum, and it just evolved. Like I mixed many parts from different skins, like from one of the Shiga skins, like hit circles. They come from there.
Did the numbers come from there as well? But at least the ones that are used now.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
And the hit sound, like it was mixed. I used to have hit sounds that were actually a recording of my tapping, like my keyboard.
I remember when people did that. That was a thing back in the community, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did that. I played with that for a while, and now I'm back to using my old skin. But there is like reworked versions that a guy made for me, like with custom art and custom hit sounds and everything. I really appreciate these arts, like they're really cool. But there's something about this old skin that just makes it easier for me to play.
But have you then taken your friends' recordings and the Polish rap and put them back into that new revamped skin?
They are not in the download, but in my private that I use, like yes, I do.
Yeah, nice.
People still use mostly the old ones. People mostly use the old skins, but yeah. So the recordings are still there, which is just so funny to me.
It's really good. Okay, so we've talked about Osu. What about outside of Osu? What takes your time? What do you spend your spare time on outside of streaming, Osu, and I guess work as well as a
gaming? I can say gaming wise and non-gaming wise. Gaming wise, I spend a lot of time on Apex Legends.
I see you streaming that quite a lot.
I play some tournaments from time to time, like community tournaments. I actually played Twitch Rivals once, but it didn't go so well. Like we got trolled by the game a couple times.
Unlucky,
man. What's your main on Apex?
Bangalore.
Nice, OG.
I told him the FPS savant or something. Know everything about every FPS game.
Hey, I gotta know the main, man. I gotta know. He says he plays it. I'm like, I just want to know.
Like when it comes to gaming, I'm very competitive, so I always want to reach the highest rank. So far, I had Grandmaster in Overwatch, Master in Apex, and like mid Diamond in League. But I don't really have time to pick up new games now.
Right. So what about outside of gaming? What
Outside of
Do
gaming,
you have any
so
hobbies?
I used to play violin for 7 years when I was growing up,
Yo,
No.
and
way.
recently I got my violin sent here, and I started relearning it again.
nice.
That's awesome.
I used to play the violin as well for 7 years. It was from
Hey.
like when I was 13 or 14. I got no way younger than that. When I was 8 or 9, I got given the violin, and I stopped just before ending high school. So it's been a long time since I've played. Let's let's do some practice together.
Does everybody play the violin in here? Semi, you play the violin?
Oh,
Okay,
I'm
thank
not
goodness I'm not
very,
alone.
not big on instruments, unfortunately.
You gotta go out and buy one now.
I'm kind of sad that I
there's
quit
always time.
violin.
Yeah, can you
Like,
imagine
at
if you
some
didn't
point-
continue it? Especially playing a
Yeah.
rhythm game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it helped me with some basics,
Yeah.
some musical experience. I wish I didn't really quit it. Like it was really overwhelming for me at the time that I had like a lot. I had 2 schools to go to, like not so much free time,
Hmm.
and like my school was pretty strict, my high school. But so I was really overwhelmed back then. But looking back at it, I should have continued. But I still enjoy it
Well,
now.
yeah.
So,
We all have those things that, we dropped maybe before we should have. There's no reason you can't come back to it, though.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm coming back to it.
There
You
you
had
go.
the choice, man. Maybe you could have been the rank 1 violinist instead of
Rank
the
one
music player.
violin player.
Who knows?
Insane.
His next side quest.
Yeah, his next side quest. So
Oh, go on. Sorry.
I guess we should go ahead and move on to these Twitter questions because we've been given quite a few of them. And I think the first one is from someone you and Bubbleman are well acquainted with, as well as I am in the tournament scene. I'm sure we all are. Zone Louise. So, Bubbleman, do you want to present this one to him?
Yeah. So Zone Louise asks, was having multiple rivals at once during your peak a huge factor for your motivation in climbing? What were the most memorable moment for you at the time?
1 second. Could you repeat the question?
Okay,
I didn't
so-
really register too well.
Was having multiple rivals at once during your peak a huge factor for your motivation in climbing? And what were the most memorable moments for you at the time?
Oh yeah, yeah. So rivals, the best thing that can happen to you when playing also.
I agree with that.
It's the best thing. Like you have a person that you're both motivated to push yourself, like and get more demanding scores. Like I
Yeah,
had
because it's
few
like you
that.
push each other, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. I had there was this Finnish DT player, Isoka Sapupuya.
Yeah.
I think he was like top 7 at some point, like in 2014. And
You play on rubber domes as well.
we were pushing each other all the time. Like
Mm.
we were trying to replicate our scores and like, all this stuff. Then there was Kinan. That was a huge motivation to me
Yeah.
then. Like to get the speed and like get better scores than him. There was of course Ajvik. That I looked up to so much when it comes to DT scores and like types of maps I played. And there was also Shige. Shige, even though we competed at a little bit different skill sets, but seeing his scores and seeing some of his DT scores, I also wanted to play like him when it comes to that. And yeah, it's like rivalry is the best thing that can happen at OSU.
So, to expand on that, what was it like when you were on the come up then? Were you like picking different rivals each time you hit a new milestone, or did you keep the same rival that came up with you?
I mean, naturally, like you can't have the same rival all the time because because I eventually like out skilled some of them.
Yeah,
that I looked up to. So they couldn't really be a match, and like I couldn't really like push myself further. So I just looked up and picked someone else.
Do you remember one of your first rivals then? Is that memorable to you?
Not really, but I know there's. I had this one motivation guy that I looked into. Actually, a couple of them. One of them was Japanese player How.
Yeah.
He was also quite tough back then. So I looked into his top plays and like tried to push myself to get close to there, and eventually I got better. And also Sayonara Bai.
Hearing all these old
Dragon
names again is
Human.
making me so happy as someone who joined during that era.
Dragon Human, like
Yeah.
seeing his scores, like Shotgun Senorita, for example, I think he was first FC on that map.
Mhm.
Like that was shit. I want to do it like that as well. Yeah, it was good times, good times.
So good answer. Semi, what's next?
Right, let's see. The next question is by someone named Sleep Deprived at Yuki. Your favorite PP meta since you started playing?
Therapy meta. I mean, it's been how many years? It's like soon to be 11, like in like half a year.
Don't say
Yeah,
those numbers.
there was a lot of different metas. Definitely my least favorite. I can start with my least favorite. It was the PPV1.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
When you can just get
Yeah.
high rank
Odds.
with playing hard maps with DT and hidden.
So were you focusing on TP during that era?
Yeah,
Because that was
TP
about when you started, right?
Exactly. I was focusing on TP, and I really liked the TP because you could sort by aim and speed and like whatever else.
That's
So
what
you
I
could
think
find the
is.
maps for that.
It's unfortunate that that's missing now. It's unfortunate that didn't get ported into PP.
Yeah, I agree. It is there, but it's hidden value, right?
It is, and it's like it's not how it used to be, where you got the top 100 aim scores that added to your PP. It's just the top 100 now, so they've like done away with the nuances of the system. So, for anyone who doesn't know, TP is Tom Points, which was the original PPV2. It was on like a. If anyone remembers PP Plus or Osu Skills, it was that sort of website that is external to the Osu community, but was referred to, I think, as like the definitive ranking system for a while before it then got adopted as PPV2. So, yeah, anyway, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite meta. Now let's go to the favorite. I don't think I have like a strict favorite, but like, I really enjoy the speed meta right now, even though the flow aim is a little bit busted. Like because like the finger control DTs, like high BPM finger control, it still doesn't give enough. I think. Like I would like to see the high BPM finger control meta one day. Like
that'd be an interesting one. What do you think would be overweighted during that meta?
Groomed maps.
Yes, absolutely, and Fergus maps.
Yeah, exactly. But
especially with rate change in laser.
Yeah, that would be insane. Like I think that's like my favorite skill set to play actually. Like finger control high BPM.
Yeah,
like lots of doubles, triples.
You get so much feedback from it.
Yeah,
it's just the best feeling in the world.
So rewarding.
I mean, looking back at what you talked about earlier, especially regarding AR11 and stuff like that, I do remember vividly that back in like 2015, the top PP score would be your 3-mod FC on Best Friends, and then that score got beat by 1 PP, I believe, and then the other score that beat your score also beat by 1 PP.
Oh yeah,
on Miraizu by HVIC, and then it was Wolf, Defenders, Hard Rock, I think.
Yeah.
What order did they get set in? I remember they didn't get set in that order, surely.
No,
I'm not sure either.
I think it was
6-6,
6-7, and then 6-5.
Yes, I think so. I think so.
I think
somebody fact check
was the highest PP out of the 3, and then Best Friends was 666 and Miraizu was 665.
Yeah, and Defenders I think Defenders was 1 PP higher. Or
Defenders was 67, Miraizu was 66, and Best Friends was 65. I'm pretty sure.
66 it was.
Was it? Okay, yeah, so Miraizu, it must have been Miraizu, Defenders, and then Best Friends. I think it got set. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
Must have been.
We've clarified that.
Yeah, AR11 surely. Like back then, like I also enjoyed it, but I always said that the OD is overweighted as hell.
Yeah.
And I kind of stand by it still.
Playing AR11 back then, could you have predicted how the meta would have progressed into like AR11 scores now? Or as it was back then anyway, I guess, because it got quite heavily saturated with AR11.
I'm not surprised at all. Like AR11, like once you sit to it and like get used to the visual, like it's not that hard.
I mean, As someone who's never been able to play AR11.
But like especially like on the maps that are like AR11 is impressive when it's like some figure control map, like or some like map that it's demanding more than just like simple patterns. Because playing simple patterns with AR11, like it's really easy to memorize, I think. Even if you can't really read it. Like if you have like a jump map like Sotark's map or something, like it's quite easy to remember the patterns or how your fingers should go. And when it comes to like more complicated stuff, like I don't know. For example, I don't know Kimi no Kyoku, like the maps with doubles.
Like brilliant.
Doubles. Like this is much harder on AR11 than generic jump map or generic stream map.
Okay.
The only problem.
Yeah, we got to move this along here. So I guess going on to our next Twitter question from Anazmek, and he wants to know tips to single tap faster.
Relax your hand and use your elbow, like not just use your finger, use your elbow.
Yeah, it's like much more of a wrist motion, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of like you just need to use your entire forearm and like that.
Okay, and next one from Palid. Favorite anime?
Okay, this is gonna sound very generic. Attack on Titan.
Okay, good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. I'm not really anime watcher, but Attack on Titan, like I watched the first season when I was like 15, and now like half a year ago, I literally binged through the rest, and
nice.
I got stuck with it. Like I loved it.
No, without spoilers, what did you think of the ending? Because the anime's finished now, right?
Yeah. I like the ending. I think
good ending.
I think it fits.
Okay.
The theme and like it's just I know it all makes sense, you know.
Okay, we have one final question for you by user Imposter. Out of all the scores that you have set, what was that one unique one that you were the most happy about?
Probably some AR11 stuff back then.
Anything specific in mind?
Like specific, I just need to think a bit.
I guess what comes to mind first? What's one of the first few that you could say, yeah, I like that one? I was happy when I set this.
Yeah, I was happy when I set Jesus, how's the map called? I have it in my head.
When you've played for 11 years.
Yeah.
My favorite reaction of yours was definitely Dream Solister.
Dream Solister, yeah, that was cool. But I think there was something about pressure in the title. Like it was like
Dream of Stream.
Yes, that one. I think I was like first AR11FC on that.
That's
and
nobody
also,
talks about that map anymore.
Yeah, I know because it was so long ago. And there was like some Frostmourne maps that I played with AR11, like what was the name? Felt something. And Magic Girl, one of them. Wait, I'm trying to find it.
There are a few Frostmourne maps.
Oh, Flower Flag?
Yes.
Flower Flag's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, the AR11 score on that. That was the first one as well. I was very happy with that, and as far as I see, I just need to go into the non-laser mode on the website.
Yeah.
I'm still top 1 on it.
Nice.
Even though I had to redo it because I saw that I think Fizz the Llama sniped me like 22 months ago from what I see. So I was like, nah, I'm getting this back. So I got it back.
Do you reckon you could do it with a flashlight?
Nah. I don't have enough motivation. I have motivation, but I don't have enough motivation to play with flashlight.
That's very fair. It's a hard one to learn.
Neither do I.
Yeah, it's probably doable by someone, but nah.
Okay, so final question. How are you feeling about the show match?
Excited.
Yeah.
I'm scared about the map pool. I'm scared about playing Big Black with DT and stuff. Like a community submission.
That's where we're at now.
Threw me for a loop.
That's what we become.
I have no idea what's there, but I saw that there's some submission form for viewers. So
that's terrifying.
This is gonna be a shit show.
Big black
I'm gonna
DT.
lie,
Oh,
yeah.
dear.
I'm looking forward to that now, knowing that. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us, answering the questions. We'll let you go, maybe warm up for later, and
Yeah.
we will throw it to a short break. Thank you so much.
Thank
We're
you.
going to be joined by Zooty after the break, so don't go anywhere.
See you.
Bye.
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 Thank you. We are back with Zootynator and Oatmeal. Hi Oatmeal. How are you?
Oh, she's She would say hi if her mouth wasn't full right now, but nice to see you all. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you on. Happy Saturday. How's your week been? How has your weekend started?
Week's been okay. I've actually been crazy enough doing a lot of practicing for the SSOT Grand Finals.
Oh yeah,
So
strange on that.
doing that, getting my taxes sorted out. It's about that time of year as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You feeling ready?
Reminder. No.
No. I mean for the tournament, not the taxes.
The tournament, yeah, the taxes. No. But yeah, tournament. I'm feeling pretty good actually. Feeling pretty good. I have a good team.
So
Yeah. Go
yeah.
ahead, old man.
How's the tournament been for you so far? How has it been playing in this super team that you find yourself on?
I was actually kind of surprised that they asked me to join this team.
Mhm.
I don't think of myself as a crazy high tier player all the time, but I'm having a lot of fun with my team comp. There's people I don't usually play with. The tournament format is super interesting, so I'm pretty glad overall. It's been really fun.
So if you weren't playing on this team, where do you think you would be playing? What group do you think you'd be playing with?
I'm not sure.
Do you think
exactly.
you'd be the 8th player on Chippy Chappa Chappa?
I was just gonna say I would probably be on chipi chapa chapa because I really like playing with the people on that team. I like playing with Chaconi and stuff. So
It's good vibes, isn't it?
good
I
vibes.
mean, every tournament team seems to be good vibes. I talk a lot about on my stream about how there's no collaborative content in Osu because every weekend, every single player is creating collaborative content because they're playing tournament matches.
But it's really nice because everyone in the really high end tournament sphere are pretty much friends too. So you can just hop on any team and have a good vibe. So it's great.
Yeah, everyone's friends at the end of the day. So what got you started in the tournament scene? What was it that took you in that direction?
I'm not even sure. Well, I have this really long story about how I went through a ban, basically a really long ban. But I started getting interested in tournaments right before that happened. And then, obviously I couldn't play any tournaments for like a year. But when I came back, it was like the pure rage that was fueling me, and I wanted to get back into it. And that was one of the ways that I never thought or I couldn't for a year. So tournaments was the first thing that I wanted to do. I don't really remember much of my first tournaments, but I started trying out for OWC right away once the tournament ban was lifted. And then I realized that was my goal because I was watching really high-end tournaments at the time, and I just thought it was so cool. So both getting banned and just having that really competitive fire and wanting to come back, and then seeing people that are in that position already made it really inspiring.
Speaking of top players kind of being a big group where everybody kind of knows each other just because you team a lot with them in different tournaments. You specifically said that you enjoy teaming with people like Chaconi a lot, but are there people that you enjoy going against as well, where you think where you feel like you have to try harder just in order to, have like continue this kind of rivalry kind of relationship between you and them?
I think I definitely had that a lot before rather than now. I don't know if it's just that 1v1s kind of aren't as prevalent right now. I think the tournament scene is just kind of a little bit not as hype as it was a couple of years ago. But I remember back in the day, there were players like Malashevsky and Utami are the first ones that came to mind because I feel like they had a similar skill set to me where we're all kind of hidden players. So I definitely felt really competitive with them, and they're just kind of better than me. So it really made me want to try and get better so that I could do better against them. But definitely now there's players like MCY as well from the roundtable qualifiers is the thing I think of, where that match was so tough and that player was so inspiring, right? So it always changes, I think, every year, but those are some examples, yeah.
Because MCY has popped off recently, hasn't he?
I feel like since, I don't know, last year or something till this year, 2 years maybe. But yeah, like crazy upcoming for MCY especially.
Okay, recently, like we were talking about the tournament scene being you didn't use the word, but stagnant. There's not very many new names in it currently because everyone that is in the tournament scene has kind of been around for 5 or 6 years now at this point. So do you think that's going to change soon? Do you think there's going to be new players coming up, new names in the super teams, things like that?
I definitely think so, because back in the day, we only had Rubber Conquest, but now I say we have
Right.
3 super teams pretty much for every tournament that could take the #1 spot anytime. So, like, with a couple more years and a couple more players that really want to get into it, it's a cool community. So, hey, if you're watching this and you're thinking, should I play tournaments? Like, you should play tournaments because we want new spice at the top,
But not too many tournaments.
Yeah, I definitely
Keep your
reeled
weekends
back.
free.
Yeah.
Keep your
2
weekends.
tournaments limit, like, that's the best for me.
2 tournaments, perfect amount.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
no,
different.
I get that. I get that.
So you mentioned that after you came back from the ban, you immediately started trying out for OWC. What was it like making your first OWC roster?
Okay. Well, the timeline is. Sorry if you can hear my birds; they're just flying around now.
They're
I got
happy, it's fine.
banned. They are happy. They're doing their morning exercise, right?
Hey, birds.
Got banned in 2018, and there's a year-long tournament ban. So I think in that 2019, I just couldn't play. Or something like that. 2018, I couldn't play, but then 2019, I tried out, and I didn't get in. And I remember the exact moment finding out that I didn't get in, because I was at the mall with Ryuk, and the ping came
Right.
out on my phone, and I was really sad. But like I said, it really made me want to try harder for the next year. So that first year that I debuted in 2020, that's actually what also kicked off my content creation. I think that's when I started thinking that this stuff could be really serious. Like I can post about this. People are seeing my name for the first time in OWC.
And you debuted in a big way too. I was in the booth for your first match, I believe, against the
Really?
Philippines. I believe you played the
Yeah.
Philippines 2020 or 21.
2020, yeah, that was
2020,
one of
yeah.
the first rounds, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you just went 4 for 4 straight. I was like, who is this?
But after that, I realized what I wanted from that OWC every week was to do something that made people talk about me. So that was like
I like
first
that.
spark
That's a
of
good
that.
goal.
Yeah.
And you did just that.
Thank you. It was a good year. It's one of my favorite years ever. That OWC.
Even outside of tournaments, though, you do a lot of. I see that you are a very good artist as well, and you also involve yourself with tournaments by hosting them, such as Battle of the Box. How does it feel like to be on the other end for once and actually host a tournament instead of being the player that always reaches the grand final stages and gets to compete against all of these massive names all the time?
It's definitely super different because I know as players already, we do recognize how much work gets put into tournaments, especially really big scale tournaments like this one, right, for SSOT. But even just small community ones require so much work and effort. So being on the other side of that is definitely like humbling in a sense too, because I am pretty much the main map pooler for Battle of the Box, which is my tournament, and I do a lot of work with we do a lot of customs and we do a lot of custom art backgrounds and stuff, so I'm working with a lot of different people, right? And I know how it feels to get that map pool feedback hit, and I'm sad,
Yeah.
But it's really fun both ways. Like just overall, everyone wants to help out, which is awesome, and everyone wants to make a project happen, which is awesome, right?
I remember seeing someone describe that map pool feedback as like turn-based combat.
Oh my goodness.
That is very real.
Yeah.
It's so real.
Because it's a lot of effort, isn't it, making a map pool? I've map pooled before, and it's just a time sink.
Yeah, the time sink is insane because you want to be nitpicky, I guess. Like you want to make a perfect pool every time. Yeah. Even though it's hard.
I mean, it's always very hard to satisfy everyone, and especially with a map pool that is just an impossible task.
Yeah, there's just so many different ways to go about it every time. Like a map pool is just a map pool, anyways. I think as long as players have fun, right? Like that's the main thing.
You're definitely less open to criticism if it's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
It could be the perfect map pool, but if none of the maps are any enjoyable at all, you're still going to get the criticism of it's really boring. Nobody's going to say
Yeah.
anything about it being balanced.
At least if someone says, wow, the customs are really cool this week, or I like the map pool, that's good enough for me. Like, it's fine.
What was it that had you make the decision to run the tournament in the first place? What's the storyline leading up to that?
Oh, it's like the third year of Battle of the Box now, so it's
Yeah.
a little bit back there. But my co-host Flazarish, I can't remember if it was his idea or my idea. I guess we had an idea together, to just run more community things. Like, I just wanted to do more things with my community at the time. So that was pretty much the first idea that we had, was to run a little community tournament. And it kind of just spiraled from there, I guess. We're like, okay, we're just going to run it again next year. We're just going to have more people. We're just going to do more things. So it just happened, I guess.
It's nice that it's grown.
Yeah, and a lot of players are enjoying it. And like I touched on the customs and the custom art as well. I think we had like 60 people or something working on just customs for this iteration, which just ended last month, which is really cool. And I also do some background art for the customs, which is really fun as well.
Does it still, even though it's grown, does it still feel like a community thing? Like it's your community, by your community, for your community?
Yeah, especially with the mappers and the artists I get to work with. They want to come back, right? Which makes it a community. They want to come back and they want to participate in these things. And stemmed from that, I made the Osu Artist Hub, which is a Discord server that just has resources for tournament hosts. Sometimes they contact me and they look for artists specifically for custom background stuff. So like, there's communities splitting off of what we have created, basically, which is really cool.
It's really nice to see as well.
The whole chain reaction.
It is definitely cool to see that you've also managed to kind of merge two of your bigger passions, playing the game and being able to also, artistically, what's the word?
Contribute, I guess.
Create, I guess.
Yeah.
Unfold yourself and be creative, and that must just be a super satisfying feeling, knowing that you get to do both of those things at the same time. So
cool.
A lot of respect.
We do have a lot of Twitter questions for you specifically, so I guess we better start addressing these, Bubble Man. We've got quite the list here.
There's a few. Naoki asks, "What's your favorite cat emote?"
That's a really hard one. But there is one that I've been using recently, above all others, and it's called Scared on my channel, and I said it to Fubo a couple times. It's a little gray cat, and he's shivering on a pink background. That is how I feel every day, actually. That's how I feel right now. I'm scared.
Fuvel, can you confirm this? Fuvel cameo?
If he's even listening.
We lost him.
No, he's too busy running the show.
If you know, you know. Okay.
07. Oh, he must be here. He just blended in the Twitter question.
He just doesn't like us.
All right.
We're trying to look for our stream host. He's not responding. Broadcast. Can you hear us?
Oh. All right.
You're still allowed to answer. We're still allowed to relay it. He's talking to us in our.
Yeah, he's talking to us, but he's not coming through on stream.
Okay, I didn't know that was in the mode. Okay, I didn't know that was in the mode.
So, Dolan, do you want to take the honors of taking the second one?
Sure,
Yeah,
man.
you
You gave me a good
brother.
one here. So Chaconi asks, when
Chaconi himself
Pekora cosplay?
Out of all the questions, okay, I'm not gonna lie, this one I also saw pop up on my timeline. I was trying to avoid this tweet as much as possible, and I saw it garnered some likes. And now I'm kind of wondering. I'm not doing a Pekora cosplay anytime soon. I'm sorry, Chaconi.
You are allowed to say no, especially to Chaconi. You're allowed to say no to him.
Oh.
I'm gonna ask Chikoni when is his Picora cosplay? I feel like he'd suit.
Ooh,
Great
Didn't he do it
question.
already?
return fire.
I thought he did it already.
I mean,
I don't
if
know.
there is any cosplay he would have done, I think it is that one. But
Let's run it back.
yeah,
Chikoni, let's run it back.
The call out.
Okay. Moving on. We have Imposter again asking, was there a specific moment that led you to keep pushing and playing Osu? Especially considering, your past as being tournament banned, I think this is a very interesting question.
I think right before the ban, well, I guess there's like two moments almost, but right before the ban, when I set the elusive blue dragon play, and people were calling me out like really hard. It was that, and then when I came back and I did the send and live play, those are the two plays where I got witch hunted the most. And as much as it made me sad and upset,
Can you guys talk?
I'll-
Oh my
Hello.
god, we're back!
we're
We're
back.
back. Are we
Okay,
back?
We're back.
We're so
So
back.
let's ask
Alright,
Last
third time's a
question.
charm,
We're
right?
so You don't have to answer
we're
it
so
again.
back.
What's your favorite Filipino dish? Asked by John Doof.
My favorite Filipino dish.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna say something lame and just say pancit because that's just a fan favorite. It's at every family gathering. You guys had pancit
The
before?
classic.
The classic.
I've not
I've
had.
not
I don't.
had
I
or
can't say
heard
I've
of it.
had a Filipino dish before.
Ooh.
I have had
Okay, you go for pancit.
Filipino food, but I have
But
not had.
now I know my go-to Filipino dish.
You've got a
There's a
recommendation
lot,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't been to a family gathering in a while, so. But the pancit though, always fire.
It's nice to have these dishes that you can come
wait,
back
that
to.
looks
are
good.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like stir fried
I just
kind of
googled
thing.
it. Yeah, that's
I haven't-
amazing.
I haven't looked it up.
It's stir fry. It's like a
stir-fried
really
Stir fried
nice-
noodles with,
noodles.
like veggies and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like it would be good.
Yep.
It's nice to have those gathering dishes that you know is going to be there, and it's.
Oh yeah.
I get sentimental about things. So, for example, instant coffee reminds me of the first Epic LAN I went to. And it will always remind me of the first Epic LAN I went to. So every time I drink instant coffee now, oh yeah, I'm transported right back to sitting there with friends on a row in the morning, 9 a.m., just made like a double strength instant coffee because I didn't get any sleep.
Reminds
So-
me of when
so-
we were at the round table too. In the
Yeah.
hotel thing. Yeah. The coffee there.
Man, I just love eating.
Okay. Great. Okay.
Eating is just,
Okay.
this is nice.
I agree.
We can agree.
So
Okay.
let's move on to another question. And Budget Rayban says, if I remember right, which I think you do, you're an aspiring 3D artist doing art commissions and just practicing drawing in general as well as playing tourneys. How do you balance them? And what do you prioritize?
Right now, well, at least for a while, my priority has been my stream and Osu because
Mhm.
I've thought of myself as just like the competitive player for a while. I want to compete and I want to get better. For a while, after I graduated school a couple years ago, I was working freelance doing 3D modeling. I was working on some games and shows, 3D modeling and 2D texturing. But I actually stopped working my freelance job just so that I could focus on OSU. So now when I do art and when I do 3D, it's just, you know, my own hobby on my own time. So I'm keeping up with my skills basically. And I just like to do different things all the time. Like I don't want to just be sitting doing one thing. So it's nice to have those on the side as well.
Okay, personal question for me.
For you, okay. Listening.
For me, would you make me a Bubble Buddy VTuber?
I would love to. I want to touch into the space, making a VTuber, 3D or 2D.
Okay, right, okay.
I need to see that.
Check your DMs later.
Okay.
I really want to see that. I'm gonna be
That'd be
real.
awesome.
So that's coming soon, TM. Exclusively here on SSOT. You heard it here first. So I think our next question is from at Slizzy Slide.
You avoided the username.
Mommy. Yeah, username Mommy. What is a score of yours that you think doesn't get enough attention and why?
Ooh.
I like questions like these.
That's a good question, actually. Good question, Mommy.
Thanks, Mommy. Okay, the only thing I can think of recently is, I don't know if it was just crowded by everything else, but I know a couple people might have seen my Suicide Parade Hidden Hard Rock play.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I think that one got a little clouded, but man, I was so mad actually when I said that after, because I missed like last 2 seconds basically or something. I was just so nervous, but in recent times, yeah, I feel like that's one of the craziest plays I've set this year. Also the Trance Dance one. Trance Dance Hard Rock, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good score. I don't think people understand how difficult CS 6.5 is on jumps.
Yeah, full area gap, I guess, guys.
Yeah. So true. It's so true. How about you, Oatmeal? What do you think the most underrated xootynator score is?
Yeah, what's your favorite score, Oatmeal?
Oatmeal? She's too busy eating again. You can see her chewing on her little thing. Just know what Osu is.
Are you sure?
Do you know? Do you know anything?
Bird brain.
He does not know.
There's white noise. Nothing but white noise.
Yeah, nothing but seeds.
Yeah. Speaking about that Trance Dance Anarchy score, I was so shocked when I saw it, especially because it was the first Hard Rock FC after Aimee score from God knows when, how many years ago.
Oh yeah.
Prehistoric.
So seeing it get the second FC afterwards was really, I was really shocked and very amazed. So yeah, absolutely, great job on that one. Let's move on to the next question. We got Zone Louise here asking, you used full area for more than a decade, but was there ever a time before that you used an area that wasn't full, even before you started playing Osu?
So I have my tablet before I started playing Osu, because I was using it for art when I was a kid. I didn't know you could change your area until how many years after I started playing. And before that, I had the tablet, but it never occurred to me that I could use it for Osu, so I actually started playing on mouse for a couple months. But no, literally, I've just been full area. I've never tried anything else. I've tried smaller tablets, that's all, but no, seriously.
So, does that mean you also play on non-forced proportions if you didn't know you could change your area?
Yeah.
Right.
So the area is a bit, the ratio is weird, yeah.
That's something I never thought to ask, actually. Wow. That was a really interesting thing to find out.
Yeah, it's weird when people ask and then they find out I don't use the forced proportions. So I think the up and down is longer than it's supposed to be. Yeah.
It works. I was on Koifish's stream. I bring up this study that I found often now because I used to be die-hard forced proportions player. Like, everyone should use forced proportions. It makes sense. But the study I found was essentially like side to side is the x-axis, which is the same on the monitor, but up and down on the monitor is actually forwards and backwards on the tablet. So it makes sense that you can adjust to something different up and down where it's not the same on your tablet. It's more difficult to adjust to something side to side when it is the same on your tablet.
That's why I'll never forgive the square area players. If you play square area, you messed up.
Square.
I mean, I also agree with that. I don't get square area.
Yeah,
What?
like the
Doesn't make
side
sense
is
to
so
me.
short. Yeah, because the play area is already square, right? So then
That's a thing?
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
my
the
man
point?
Curtis plays on square area.
Why?
That
calling him
explains
out.
this a lot.
I'm pretty sure Dust Ice plays on a square area, and
There's
when
a
I
lot
saw
of people
that,
that do.
it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
confused.
also
Also, he
plays
has
with
it
his tablet
rotated like
angled.
45
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah.
So it's like a diamond.
So his tablet is 45 degrees off, but then his area is rotated back the other way. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Let's just play normally.
No,
Yes.
actually, no.
Not
That's a
sure.
lie. That's a lie. You couldn't rotate your area on old Wacom tablets. Anyway, swiftly moving on.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. The next question is from, let's see, let me pronounce this correctly. From I am Rayletter. Which top player do you like the best as a player? Not including you. I guess that you're not allowed to like yourself.
They.
Man.
We don't do that kind of thing here.
Oh man, I was literally talking about this recently on my stream too, because I was talking about it kind of goes with the rivalries thing, but thinking about my favorite players of different skill sets, I guess. So I have many different favorite players, you know, but I think right now, if I were to just name one, it's probably Malice. Like, such a good guy and such a good player overall. Like, just, and I've met him at the round table, you know, he's so sweet. I met his mom, so I feel like we have that
Yeah,
deeper family connection.
Oh,
You know.
Are you still in touch with her? Because I don't think I've had any messages off or I guess to her since.
No, I think just like a month after or something, she sent me some photos from the round table. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. But
It was really sweet though.
sweet lady, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, what do we got next, Sammy?
Roundtable must be so insane, man. Malachevsky's mom. That's just such an insane thing.
yeah.
So funny.
Okay, we got a really simple question coming up next by I'm gonna butcher this name. I'm sorry. Dui Khan 01103 asking, what is your proudest score?
I still think my proudest score is actually Euphoria, because
Good answer.
it was just groundbreaking for me. It was ahead of its time, perhaps. It was the hidden PP record for a while, and I really pushed myself for that score because at the time I actually couldn't really stream 190 that well. But now it's like a piece of cake.
Having the ability, or like having the credibility, I guess, to say I had the X mod PP record must feel really good. It must feel incredible.
Yeah, then it got reworked, and now no one cares anymore.
No.
Now some speed map, but you know, but it's okay. I still think that score is really awesome. It's gonna be my favorite score for a while, really. Till I hit Hard Rocket, right?
Yeah, not gonna take long. Not from now.
I'm working on it.
What was that other map called that you also have seen with Hidden? It was also mapped by by Forts, I think. And it was also like a high tech like Psytrance.
I did all three of them. I did Sound Chimera and Firelight as well.
Firelight, yeah, that one. That's what
Firelight.
I want. That's my favorite score by far. Like the 1/100 Hidden FC, man. That is just I can't get over that.
Yeah,
that accuracy is ridiculous.
That one was really fun to do.
Okay, so we've got two more questions. The first of which, what are your thoughts on the approach circle abandonment epidemic due to the hidden modification?
Honestly, just how it should be. Really, I just hate those things. Personally, I think
they get in the way.
I don't know. I think this is gonna sound crazy, but back in the day when I used to play on a laptop, the reason why I used to use hidden all the time was because, you know, the frame rate was really choppy, and I felt like without the approach circles, it would help me play better. So that's actually why I became a hidden main back in the day.
Yeah, it's just more things to render, right?
Yeah, it just didn't look good.
And well, Osu
was my
runs
logic.
single threaded, so it's like anything you can skip, it surely adds an extra frame or two.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the game runs smoother. I'll
No, you
just
just-
learn
you
to
just-
see it.
You just don't see the choppiness because the circles
Yeah,
are fading
doesn't
out.
exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No screen tearing. What is screen tearing? Nothing's moving on my screen. It's
I
just
know
fading.
some people like to put on hidden because, like, when there's like a big stream section, some people it's like it's too much going on at once with a bunch of approach circles coming in. So if you have hidden, it's less to see and easier to track. You just have to kind of be good at hidden and know the map.
Yeah, it's kind of weird now though because I struggle with density on maps as well if I'm playing with no mod. So especially on really dense tech maps, when things are overlapping, it's actually a lot more difficult. So
would you say that hidden is like a preference mod to you, or is it something that you? I mean, you can just turn on hidden or not, and it's like whatever.
I think it's a preference mod, but some skill sets are really still very different with hidden. Like especially flow, I think is one of the biggest challenges. Flow hidden is just super different than if you just had it off. So it really depends on the map, but I just prefer to have the less stuff on the screen, really.
I see. Fair enough. I mean, I'm a hidden player myself, but I definitely do prefer no mod over hidden.
That's
I'm not built like that, man.
Okay,
No.
so
Also, I've got one last personal question. And this is throwing it back to the kind of where we started on your World Cup run. I wanted to ask you this because that was a very special World Cup run, not just for you, but also for Canada in general. That was y'all's the first time Canada placed on the podium. You guys taking home that bronze. What was it like to be with Azer as he finally got that groundbreaking achievement on a insanely
finally gets a badge?
Yeah, finally getting the badge.
Yeah. Man, it was one of those tournaments where you're not sad that you lost, but you're sad that it was over. Because that team vibe was immaculate, especially with Ignite too, you know?
Dude, those
doing
videos,
the weekly things.
those videos, dude, I lived for that. That was amazing.
Yeah, like it was
Coach
literally
Ignite.
just immaculate. It was awesome. I'm super glad I got to play with him before he retired. But we were missing out on his skill set for a while until Cup Paper spawned.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
now
goodness.
Cup Paper's filling the shoes of that legacy, you know. Yeah.
Do they still stick around, Ignite and Azer? I know Ignite does. I know he still coaches, but like coaches.
Well, yeah, Azer, he pops his head in usually. I think last year he would pop his head in. He did an appearance. I'm pretty sure it was last year. They did a song. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I remember
the song?
this. Yes, yeah.
It was at Azer's house, I think, and they had all the
Goodness me.
gang there. So yeah, they do still support us, you know, the grandpas. It's really nice.
It must be such a great team vibe as well, just going forward, knowing that you're kind of growing not as a team, but as this sort of family that has played these Canadian World Cup rosters.
I feel like it might. I'm not sure about the other countries, but it just feels like that country roster is always a family, and it's nice to see when they interact. Because I remember a long time ago, I would see the Japanese players play Minecraft and stuff like that, and seeing them interact together is just so cute because it's just like it's a team bonding experience like no other. I feel like that's why OWC is really one of the best.
Yeah, if I had to pick out two rosters for the World Cup, it would definitely be Canada and Poland that have two of the closest knit teams, because everyone knows each other and everyone's friends. Kind of, they interact outside of the game. They're just pretty much best of friends. It's great to see. It must really give you some performance boosts when you're in matches. Like the mental, the mindset, the team vibes, I guess.
That's half the battle, right? The mental.
Yeah. And also the relief of knowing that if you don't perform well one time, you're not going to get flamed. You know, they understand. And they're your friends.
Yeah.
And if anything, they're going to like just maybe clown you about it for a little bit, but they don't hate. They're not mad at you. They're just like, whatever.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Okay, so final question. Important question. How are you feeling about the show match?
Well, I'm feeling really ready to play Galaxy Collapse Nomad 4 and Ascension to Heaven 2.
Yes.
Yeah, TT1. I'm really ready. But
nice.
I'm excited because I think the players that we have are interesting and it'll be funny. It'll be funny. Yeah.
I'm excited to see Ed and Carrie be on two different teams and whatever banter goes on between them living in the same house.
Oh my.
They're either gonna, if they're on the same team, one of them is going to be in the lobby while another isn't. No, because it's just a straight up 4v4, isn't it?
Is it?
I think isn't there 8 players?
Yeah.
Maybe
but I think the team size still changes. I don't know.
I guess it does. I guess it does. Yeah. So if Ed's in the 1v1 map and Carrier's in the background in his stream giving a cheer.
Dokito's Yomiuri is gonna come up. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Like Whitecat versus BTMC right there.
Yo, you're so right.
Boom.
I'm
You're
gonna
so
do
right.
a pool prediction. I'm gonna pop one.
Oh,
Not right now, but like, do you guys know if it's supposed to come out tomorrow or today when the draft happens, or is it next week?
tomorrow is what we've
Tomorrow.
been told, I believe.
All right,
and I've heard the draft. We're missing Emmerich for the draft, so the draft is going to be happening tomorrow. It's postponed now.
Yeah, it's. I put my 2 cents in, but it's probably better to do the show match next week because either if we do it before or after the match tomorrow, we're gonna be tired because we're playing grand finals, right? So
It's going to be a long day unless you have a good break between.
yeah, that's all right.
I feel it's possible.
More content.
More content. Yeah.
Content.
The last player with stamina wins.
Yeah, that is it for us, I think. That is all of the questions that we had from Twitter. Any final questions from either of you two?
I think I went over everything.
Yeah. I'm with
No
Dolan.
VTuber models for me.
No
I'm
VTuber
good.
models for you, Dolan. Not even for any potential World Cup cam footage.
No. I don't think my computer could render a VTuber model.
Well, there we go. Good luck for your match tomorrow, Zooty. I'm really excited to watch.
Thank you guys very much for having me as well. Good luck to all the players too. Good luck to my teammates. So I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much for coming out and answering our questions.
Thanks, guys.
We will, I think, be throwing over to a break while I think the draft was meant to be happening now, but unfortunately, because of Emrech's absence, we'll be not able to bring you that.
We also have to plug our sponsors real quick too.
Instead we'll plug the sponsors and then and then throw over to a break. Go for it, Dolan.
Alrighty, so for Wacom, you can use code SSOT40 at Wacom's website to get 40% off any of the Intuos models. And for Drunk Deer keyboards, you can use code OSUGO. That's OSU !Go for 20% off on their online store. So we thank them for supporting the tournament. And we thank xootynator and Rafis for being here to answer questions. And Oatmeal.
Oh yeah, she's taking a nap now.
Thank you, Emil.
I'll tell you guys that thanks. Thanks for having her as well.
Oh, it's been our pleasure. So we will throw over to a quick break, and then we will be back with, I think, the match.
Yeah, it's almost 16.
It is 15 minutes.
Bye.
So don't go anywhere.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to SSOT Grand Finals. We are here with the long-awaited first match of Grand Finals weekend. It is I'm Korean 2 versus Chipi Chapa. Both of these teams have made very strong runs so far. I'm Korean 2 having dropped 2 maps in the entire tournament, not counting their suntan. Chipi Chapa also only losing to Suntan. So these are two very competitive teams. We are in for a good one. I'm iFlame, joined today by the lovely Sad Shiba. How are you?
Hello. It's going great. I cannot wait. This grand finals is super exciting. I feel like it's one of those rare occasions where in a grand final stage, you feel like really any team can make it here. I'm Korean 2, number 1 in the qualifiers. Same with Chipi Chapa getting 3rd and Santai getting 2nd. It is the top 3 in the qualifier stage getting top 3 in this tournament. And at that stage, when the tournament pool gets at its hardest, the best of the best are here to clash it out, and I couldn't be more hyped for this, man. This is going to be really, really hype. Whoever takes this will go up against Santan in the absolute final grand finals match to crown themselves as SSOT champions. I can't wait for this one. I love the rosters on both of these teams. I feel like there's a good duality of what kind of themes that both of these teams are running. I really like just generally the cores of what this team has. I like to see some players as well that I haven't seen around for quite a long time. So it's good to see it all come together, and hopefully we'll get a banger match. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more, and we'll take a look at the rosters in a second. But before I do that, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Wacom. Use code SSOT40 for 40% off, as well as Drunk Deer. Use the code OSU !go ! For 20% off, as well as a huge thank you to Rafis and Zooty, who we had interviews with earlier today. If you didn't catch those, definitely check out the VOD after this. There's a lot of really cool insight on their thoughts on tournaments, how they got into tournaments, and just some fun questions that you guys were able to ask. And that was a lot of fun. But why don't we talk about these two teams? Let's start with Chipi Chapa, 3rd seed. Coming into this one, Chaconi, Skrull, Intercambing, Allegrissimo, Colibet, Arnold, and Whitecat. A 7-player team. Interestingly enough, they were missing that last player, but have had a very strong performance and nonetheless have looked especially good on the DTs, on things like the aim so far. What do you think of this team, Shiba?
I'm looking at this roster and I see a giant mechanics roster here, both in tapping and in aim. I feel like everybody here, despite having a good ounce of being quite well-rounded, you've got players like Whitecat and Arnold, who are generally quite flexible players. Skrull as well, very experienced. Chaconi, always being a super strong carry player for Team Russia and OWC and other tournaments. But especially with this team, I all see some great strengths in hard rock, general mechanics, and a lot of aim, which is something that I'm expecting this team to really make the most of, especially if players like Whitecat are around. Undisputedly one of the best aim players in the game, and having players like Allegrissimo back you up there, Chaconi, into Cambing, you have a good core of players that can really make the most of that aim skill set. And especially in the double times here, DT1 and DT2 are immediately maps that I'm looking at to be really dangerous for I'm Korean 2 to really bump into. Knowing the format here, I would not be surprised at all to see Chippy just immediately abused the high tapping speeds. Either the DT4 or the DT1 is what I'm expecting. You have a Colibet on your team. At the moment, probably the best speed player in the world. Best tournament speed player is debatable, but still a great speed player, very strong, and has the highest potential for making the most of that double time 1, which is your 300 BPM Ascension Heaven map. A little bit of a funny one, really. This is kind of known to be a crazy raw speed farm map, but actually very, very strong and very, very good for this team. If that's not going to be one of their opening picks, I'm definitely expecting it to be an opening ban for I'm Korean 2. DT4, mentioned before, this is kind of your mechanics player's dream. And I mean, look at this roster. You have so many options in this. I think they've got good odds, but in my mind, in this pool, there's a lot of control and a lot of weird kind of, how do I say it? Yeah, generally quite control-heavy pool here. You've got lots of the no-mods, lots of the hiddens, quite a few of the hard rocks, lots of control-heavy options in varying degrees. And that's something that I'm a little bit worried about for Chippy here. I feel like there's a lot of sections where, sure, they have some good players. I feel like White Cat could do well, Scroll could do well on some of these control maps, but generally, I'm Korean 2 look really flexible on those kind of strengths. You're really hoping for the hard rock, the raw mechanics, and the aim to really be where Chippy Chippy Chapa Chapa are going to make the most of their maps here. And I'm Korean 2 is a daunting opponent, to say the least, especially with this pool.
They certainly are. I mean, take a look at this roster. They have so many skill sets. They're so well-rounded. They're incredibly good at the aim control. They're especially good at the hiddens and the hard rocks. And they've just have some very high skill cap players. They are a terrifying team on some of those one picks. You look at things like the hidden one, the hard rock one. You can put a player like Worst HR player who's been performing fantastically all tournament long, a player like Rectigon on something like a no mod one, and they're generally going to be able to beat their opponents in most matchups. And that's going to be something they're looking towards. Our player has averaged an individual performance of 2.8 overall across the tournament, second only to Malashevsky, and has been the only player this entire tournament to place higher than Malashevsky in terms of individual performance. Rectigon, another fantastic tournament player, known for the aim, for the hard rock especially, but has become very well-rounded himself, and is going to look to be, I think, that second big carry player for I'm Korean. I do think you were highlighting the DT prowess of Chippy, and I think we're going to see some of those banned out by I'm Korean too, as much as they can. We've seen them ban DT maps. I think 8 out of 10 maps they banned have been DT maps this tournament, except for last match against Suntan. And against a team like Chippy, I expect them to continue with that trend. And to go back to Chippy for a moment and talk about their potential bans, I've noticed they have banned out a lot of 4s. So they've tended to ban out things like the No-Mod 4. They've banned out things like the HD 4. And so when you look at this team, right, and compare it to I'm Korean, they don't necessarily have as much depth on the roster. They don't, especially with 7 players. It feels like they struggled a little bit more to put together a full 4-man roster. But when you look at things like the 2s, even the 3s on a hidden 2, you can throw in, for example, Intercam being Arnold, and that's an incredibly strong hidden roster. So curious if we are going to see them ban out more of those 4s, or if they opt for something else against I'm Korean. Remains to be seen, as we do have a few minutes left. Chippy had a very strong performance last week as well. 5 players in the top 15. Chaconi was a 3rd individual. And then at 7, 8, 9, they had White Cat, Akolibed, and Scroll, followed by Arnold at number 14. So I definitely don't think you can count them out, although I think it's fair to say Korean are the favorites. Most of our staff have predicted I'm Korean to take this one, but I think Chippy will put up a fight for sure.
Yeah, general predictions are always different to our hopes. Here are your staff picks, your staff predictions for who is going to take it. A little bit, a big outlier here from Curious and Dio, who are picking Chippy to take the map. Same with Fadiza there. But generally, the favorites do seem to be I'm Korean too. I feel like the general flexibility, along with the pool here that's set for this team, I just feel like there's so much more flexibility with this I'm Korean 2 team. And on top of that, the maps that seem to be leaning a little bit towards CBGB Chapa, not necessarily the maps that massively are their map, more maps that you see this team picking are also maps that I'm Korean 2 easily can contest. We were talking about the DT4 being a map that could easily be banned for Chippy, against Chippy from I'm Korean 2, but you also have to think about the fact that you've got players like Restia, Ouendan, like Rexagon, easily players who can make the most of this map. And that's what I'm worried about here, because I feel like the only thing that they can make the most of is that raw skill ceiling that players like White Cat and Akolibed can really make the most of. And even then, there are some maps here that are just easily abusable from I'm Korean 2. I'm looking at No-Mod 4, I'm looking at Hidden 1, maps that are easily going to go in favor of I'm Korean 2, in my mind at least.
Yeah, and we mentioned some of the 4s potentially being banned out for Chippy. I think you're going to want to look towards some of those ones. You call out the HD1 here. That's one of the hardest maps in the pool. And when you have a player like Worst HR player who has I mean, one of the highest skill caps in the entire tournament, probably top 3, along with Malice and Emrek.
Yeah.
That's a really scary prospect, trying to match a player like a Worst HR player or Forum on a pick like Hidden One. So that's going to be a concern as well, right? Now, in terms of picks, I think we're largely going to see chipi opt towards speed, opt towards aim. Whereas I'm Korean, they have, like you said, a lot more options, a lot more flexibility. They have tech, they have aim control. There's quite a few maps in this pool that are a solid mix of different kinds of tech. They've got, aim control tech, slider tech mixed in. And I feel like those maps are going to be great for I'm Korean as well. So it is going to be crucial for chipi to win their own picks. And I think if they can win their own picks, the speed and the aim, they have a good chance to go far in this match, get a lot of points, potentially bring us to a tiebreaker. But I think the big challenge for them is going to be finding some of those break points on Korean's skill sets. And if they give up any break points in this match, especially early on, I think that could be very tough to come back from. Now, we should be getting into picks and bans any second now. We haven't seen the rolls quite yet, so unsure who gets the first pick, but we do have one pick for each team before the bans. And Shiba, I know we were talking about this for quite some time right before the match, but we were both in agreement that we would love to see chipi pick that DT1 first. 300 BPM speed. There are very, very few players in this game, especially left in this tournament, that are capable of playing the DT3. And one of those players is on chipi. It is a Kolibed. I'm not sure Korean have anyone to match. And while we're waiting for that pick to come in, I also want to highlight how fun of a format this is. I feel like the pick ban strategy is so underutilized in most formats, and having the pick decide there it is, DT3, no surprises. It's going to be a Kolibed for chipi, but as I was saying, having the pick decide the number of players adds so much strategy, so much to think about. And it's just a really cool addition. Keep in mind, the pool has been balanced around that as well, right? So the poolers are aware that you don't need 4 players for a map like DT1. You only need 1 very strong player. So the 1s tend to be much, much harder than the 4s because the poolers are very aware that you need a full team for those ones. And so those ones are going to be a lot easier. So just keep an eye out for that. And to me, it's going to make the ones all the more exciting because those maps, some of them are absolutely brutal. Hidden 1 and 2 especially, those maps are absurd. I mean, DT1, 300 BPM. How many players in this tournament left can play 300 BPM? Kolibed, Nineric? Is there anyone else?
Yeah,
Emrek,
no.
probably?
I mean, Emrek, Nineric, Kolibed, 3 of the strongest speed players in the tournament. I mean, I don't know what else you can really say about that. Yeah, going back to the format before we get into the map, this format in my mind is genius. I love the idea about it because it not only incentivizes creative map pooling, but it also incentivizes creative team building, which makes the matchup so much more interesting. You've got so much more to account for, so much more to think about, and a lot more circumstances where some teams will definitely be able to make the most of certain picks, not because of their skill sets or anything like that, because of their player numbers, which makes this really exciting. And as we get into a section Herbert, this is your ridiculously raw 300 BPM speed map. We already got into, I think we just passed the little intro section. We're a little bit late into the map, unfortunately. Yeah, a Kolibed and Henry facing up here. You can already tell there is a big difference here in the accuracies already. A Kolibed only with 1 miss past that intro section, holding on to combo just over Henry's. But Henry, though, not looking too good in this intro section, not able to hit a lot of accuracy. 100 through 100 already with 10 misses compared to Kolibed's 139. We're getting into the hardest part of the map already, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where a Kolibed's 300 BPM speed ability becomes way more apparent here. Henry desperately trying to keep up a little bit, holding on to the combo game, but not holding on to the act game. 68 accuracy compared to a Kolibed's 80, and slowly decreasing as we get into the section. Chain misses are also very possible here. They're only about 40,000 score difference, but as we start to approach the ending here, everyone's falling apart, everybody's missing, and nobody can hold on to a combo, but that doesn't matter if you are on the side of chipi. A Kolibed, as protocol expected, as we all suspected, he will be taking this this first map in style with the first win on the first map on the board for Chippy. And unfortunately for Enric, despite being a very prominent speed player, this BPM is far too hard for this man, unfortunately. Not at that level. And in turn, Chippy take it. And that's instantly the first pick, as we predicted. I mean, this is an instant map that we thought we were going to do. If it wasn't going to be this one, it was probably going to be the DT4, in my mind at least. But yeah, no, good stuff for Chippy, and it's up to I'm2 now to go for that next pick. We were talking about earlier the potential for maybe No Mod 4, maybe Hidden 1. Any other potential picks that you think they could lean into?
There's definitely a few. I do think I'm Korean are very flexible, but just very quickly, because I've seen a few questions about it. Format for this is we have one pick from each team, then they each get a ban. We have 2 more picks from each team, and then another round of bans. And then the score is not displayed as the difference, but as the actual score. So it wasn't a 130,000 point win. It was a win by about 20k. Enri had a really good combo, just couldn't match the accuracy. There's the HD1 that we were talking about. Very good shout there, Shiba. And this is such a smart pick. And it is because I have to imagine it's going to be worst HR player. Hidden 1 is possibly one of the hardest maps in the pool. I mean, not possibly. It is one of the hardest maps in the pool. Maybe second to HD2. It is aim control, overlap reading, has 1/3 mixed in. The overlaps are brutal. I think we're going to see some pretty low accuracies. And while we do have some good players on Chibi that can play this, I have to imagine it's likely to be Arnold, who is kind of that hidden rating player. It's just the skill cap on this map it's so tough that I think it's going to be tough to match up against worst HR player.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, Forum is undisputedly one of the best player on this kind of skill set. I don't really think that's a debate at all. This map is absurdly hard, arguably the hardest map in the pool. Quite a few of the people in the map pooling group for this tournament consider this to be the single hardest map in the pool. It is ridiculous levels of control reading gimmick, AR rate with tons of variable patterns. And it's mapped by Dictopia, a player who is widely known to be a superstar gimmick player for a very long time. And gimmick players who know how to map can make horrifically difficult reading maps. And you're going to be able to witness it here with this one.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get the players loaded in. Doesn't seem like that Chippy's player is starting to the lobby. We see worst HR player, though, already off to a fantastic start with 400 combo and very impressive accuracy at 99.5. Question is, who is in for Chippy? And assuming it's Arnold, how are they doing? You have to assume worst HR player is in the lead, but can't be 100% sure. And it's already a great start. Hopefully we can get a client refresh here. Worst HR player does find a miss. Okay, and it seems like the player is in the wrong slot, so we're just going to have to tough it out for now. Another miss from worst HR player. And this one's a bit of a guessing game. I would have to guess that worst HR is still in the lead.
There we
Here we go.
Who is that in there? I'm going to assume it's Arnold.
I think so.
And yeah, we're not going to be able to see that score, unfortunately. We're only going to be able to see that gameplay, which makes it way too difficult to judge. I mean, you can't even see Gosu Memory play with that combo at all. You don't even know if they're in the leading combo or not. Like, you're just kind of hoping somebody plays better. But I'm looking at this already, and I see West HR player hitting much more than the player showing here. There we go. We see some combo already. Immediate drop there. I'm going to assume this is Arnold because I don't think anybody else is playing this for Chippy. 90 accuracy compared to 95 is immediately something that you should be keeping an eye on here. Clear consistency difference here as the slow section starts to ramp up into the difficult section of the map, into the final third. Whereas the Chapa is just able to build and hits that little burst section with the double tapping, whereas Arnold going up to 100 combo, but pales in comparison to the combo that West Chapa is possessing right now. You're going into the final build-up section. Those are the big wiggle sections dropped by Arnold, but hit by West HR player. And as we start to sequentially build into the final third of the map here, it's all West HR player to just push this lead further and further away. 170k for Arnold. Simply not going to be what he is looking for. And West HR player now, the question more is whether or not he's going to end this off in style. He may have dropped previously with 6 misses towards the first half, but this second half is looking much more dominant.
Yeah, this is a really impressive score. Our replayer for this one, Yokespy, who is very well known for the hidden reading ability. only able to put up 300k on this one. Just goes to show how good, how talented Worst Stage Chart player is at this kind of a map. And almost 1,000 combo to close out this map. Finally finds the miss. Shouldn't have said anything, but 550k. That is a dominant victory. Once again, as expected, both teams taking their first points. And that's how it tends to go when you have picks before the bans. Teams have maps that they know they can win, take those right out the gate. And now we're going to get into bans for both teams here. And I think it's pretty clear what both teams want to ban out in terms of skill sets. But there's quite a few maps that fit those skill sets, so the actual bans themselves, not so clear.
In my mind, I feel like I'm creating two have two options. You either go for the Hard Rock 1 to get rid of White Cat, or you go for the DT4 to get rid of that risk of that double time mechanic squad from Chippy to come through.
I don't think Hard Rock 1 is a necessary ban with Rectigon, who is one of the best Hard Rock players in the game, right up there with White Cat. I think it is precision, but would at least put up a fight. They have Boshiman as well, who's known for the precision. So I think Hard Rock 1 is unlikely. Definitely one of those DTs is almost certainly going to be the ban. They've banned out DT all tournament long. Chipi are the best DT team in the tournament, and it's going to be the DT2 instead. That does make a fair amount of sense. It is that DT aim, and against players like White Cat and Akoli, they're going to put up good scores. It's AR 10.6 as well. So if you're not really a DT player, it's a very tough adjustment to make as opposed to 10 or 10.3 that DT tends to be. 10.6 can be a pretty big jump. Chibi, on the other hand, we could very easily see them ban out something like that Hidden 2 unless they think Arnold and Intercambing are good on it. They might just ban out the No Mod 4 instead. That's the other kind of reading heavy pick. And it looks like it is that No Mod 4 banned out. No surprise there. 6-minute map. We're not going to be seeing that, thankfully. I mean, it is a cool map, just incredibly long.
Listen, No Mod 4, great map. Great song, but golly, is it really long, and golly, is it really difficult. I feel like Chippy don't want to deal with that potential abuse, especially from the rest of the team. I feel like other potential options that could have been banned here was, as you mentioned, the Hidden 2. Also, maybe we could have seen the ban on the Free Mod 1, which is the Sudapatan anti-mod, could have lent more in favor of Korean 2, which I'm going to assume will be a pick in the future, especially with players like Boshiman and Forum around. Easily a good duality on a map like that, but Shipwrecked will be the next pick here for Chippy. And as I guessed, this was going to be one of their much more predictable maps. Another map that I said could have easily been a ban for this team. With players like White Cat around, there is absolutely no way you don't make the most of his absurd aim skill set on this. And
This is a awkward aim pick, a little bit of precision, CS 5.5, lots of 1-2s, some cross screens, very short map. And Shiva, if you take a look at the global leaderboards, guess who's number one? It's White Cat.
The one and only White Cat, the cat that's white, the German aim maestro.
Has 750 combo score on the Hard Rock. The second best Hard Rock score on the map has about 400 combo. But Worst HR player coming in, very capable at the Hard Rock as well. Definitely would favor White Cat on this one, but you can never count out a player like Forum. Here they go. It is a somewhat slow start to the map, but it gets into it very quickly. There are a couple streams, I believe, in this map that you have to watch out for, and there are some massive spikes at the halfway point of this map as well as the ending, and those are going to be the big ones. If anybody can get through that halfway section, they're going to be primed to take this pick, as both players find early misses. It's going to be pretty even.
Ladies and gentlemen, this song also absolutely slaps. I mean, I love this song. One of my personal favorites that we've seen in those tournaments. I mean, love seeing it, but it is going to be White Cat and Forum duking it out here. Forum, I feel like, is quite underrated in his raw aim mechanics. Everyone knows him for being very well-rounded in control, well-rounded in ult and tech, but aim is one of his best strengths. The guy has set some ridiculous aim scores, and if there's any harder map he could potentially outshine White Cat on, it will be this one. So far, so good for both of these players. Very, very close. Both players trading breaks, but White Cat just taking that edge in the combo game towards this little build-up section. Those sections, alongside the ending sections of the KIs, are where you're really going to see that aim spike in difficulty. Where's the Char player holding on to just a little bit of a lead, only by about 20-30 combo, and accuracy also in his favor. White Cat, so far, getting a little bit oppressed by West Char player. But as we get into the next little verse section, we're going to be seeing a little bit more build-up and hopefully a little bit more of a build-up in stakes and combo. But there goes Worst Child player, and Whitecat is still holding. Never mind, he goes down as well. This is looking really dicey so far. Only 20k in favor of Worst Child player, and both players are consistently dropping.
Yeah, there's a bit of an easier section here. There is another massive spike at the ending, so we are going to see a few more misses. They're going to see a bit of a chance for both players to build up their combo now, and it's only 30,000. On a map like this, where we could see chain misses on the ending very easily, players could lose score towards the end. It could go either way. Here's another big jump section. Both players holding on for now. Worst HR player finds the first miss. Whitecat continues to hold, and Whitecat hits it. That's going to be a big section. Yeah, Whitecat, this is going to be a big swing in the map. The score lead is going to go back over, finds a miss on the easier section. That's devastating. Had the chance to bring this one back, but all of a sudden, things are falling apart as Whitecat pretty much needs to hit the ending section if he wants to win this one.
We still got a little bit of time to go, though. Bit of a build-up section into the final KI, and then into that final ending section, which is far and away the most difficult part of the map. Whitecat holding on to just a little bit of combo advantage. He has to keep on holding for a little bit, but this map is so volatile. It's so consistently difficult, and that drop from Whitecat is just going to make it even harder. Early stage dominance from Worst Child play is keeping him in this map. You've got that spinner now, and you're going to have the break revealed. Forum knows where he's at. He knows that he has to hold on for just a little bit longer and make sure that Whitecat does not abuse that ending section. Far and away the biggest threat to Forum's chances of winning this right now. This could be a giant breakpoint here if they can do this. Chippy are relying on this map, and down goes Whitecat once again on the build-up into the final KI now. This section a little bit more tame compared to the rest, but once this is hit, once this is done, that final section is really what you're looking at here. This is close enough for it to be potentially comebackable, but Forum is not making this easy. He's still holding on, and as we approach the final ending section, there might not be enough time here. Whitecat's still trying to hold on, hitting the majority of it, but he goes down, and Forum is still holding. As he keeps hitting this section, he may finally drop, but that might just be the damage already done. It's starting to approach nearly 100,000 now in favor of Forum, and I'm Korean too. Perform a great upset. Worst HR play shuts down the German king of aim and will get the breakpoint from Korean 2.
That's going to be huge for Forum. Very impressive performance. Whitecat not able to find the consistency, not able to match that previous really good score. It is a much older score, but that's going to feel really bad for Chipi. You mentioned at the start of this match how it feels like they have a lot less options in terms of picks, so any early breakpoints are going to be pretty devastating, and one given up now, Korean have the next pick, and they've got a lot of options. They've got the hiddens, they've got the nomad. You know, you could look at the hidden 2, you could even look towards something like the nomad 2. You even have a free mod pool that Korean have looked very, very good on.
Yeah, I'm Korean 2 are easily going to be able to abuse this now. Now that they're aware, they don't have to be as afraid of the aim against Whitecat now. I mean, as soon as that breakpoint comes through, I mean, you know that you've got a lot more comfort, a lot more going. That is a great win from Korean 2. I can't emphasize that enough. I feel like Shipwrecked was one of their next best picks, and Forum just showing everyone again that he's just so good on just down about everything here. And I'm Korean 2 now have a great chance to just push this further and further and further away from Chippy's reach. That is a tough loss. I can't help emphasize that enough. That loss on the Hard Rock 1 is really tough. And in turn, I'm Korean 2 are going to have so much more flexibility, and that hidden 2 is unsurprisingly picked straight away. This is your ridiculous level of hidden control tech with some ridiculous sliders on top of the techie in control here. You have two players immediately come to mind, two of the best tournament players who could play this in Forum and Enry. Forum coming back after an incredible win on Shipwrecked, coming in to pop off on this once again. Whitecat and Scrowwall, unsurprisingly, being the next players here for Chippy to play. Great control players. Whitecat, I believe, quite underrated in the Alton tech, in tournaments generally. Very, very powerful and stuff like this, but I feel like against a team like Enry and Forum, this is a tough ask, a tall mountain to climb for Chippy. Definitely upsettable if any of these players choke, but I'm looking at this as a very strong pick here from Korean 2. Enry and Worst HR player widely known to be the best control players in the tournament scene.
Yep, they are so good. This is a hidden tech pick, and in my mind, this is possibly the hardest map in the pool, depending on your skill set, but there are a lot of tricky patterns here, and there's a lot of places to break, so Could come down to that accuracy as well, right? The sliders in this map are incredibly high velocity. There's some aim control mixed in. You see already Skrull finds a huge chain miss, as does Henry. It is White Cat and Farm holding on. Everybody drops except for Henry on that section. We're going to be seeing misses throughout, so keep an eye on the accuracy. At the moment, it is Korean off to the lead, but this is only the first section of the map. We have a lot to go and some recovery, but it is White Cat to find the latest miss, and now it's a big lead for Korean.
It's all up to Skrull to try and keep something anchored here for his team. White Cat, unfortunately, not being able to hold on to any substantial combo. With that drop from Skrull, instant reset there for Chippy. But on the side of Korean too, I mean, look at this dominance here. Henry still holding on to his full combo with Forum not far behind with that early miss. Not really facing him at all. But there goes the dominance on that really crazy slider. I don't blame anyone for missing on that one, to be completely honest with you. This map, consistently difficult, very volatile, and does not let you go at all. This is consistently very snappy, but very fast. You have to be very consistent, and with players like Henry and Forum on a map like this, I think this is one of their best strengths and easily abusable with this. That early combo advantage really keeping their team in the lead here by quite a margin, nearly double the score. I believe actually over double the score of Chippy, just by a little bit here. And as we go into the final ending of the map here, about the last quarter, this is just looking doom and gloomed here. Chippy may have a decent amount of combo here from Skrull, but that's not going to be nearly enough to submit a big comeback here. You're really hoping for a combo of equal magnitudes, but Skrull hits that big build-up section there and does not drop. Contrary to Henry and White Cat, it's just Wested Chapa that he's got a wall against, but there's not a lot of time left. You're really hoping for something to go down, but it's going to be Skrull to drop, and that's not the news you want for Chippy. Forum still holding on, hitting the entirety of this section. May drop on the slider, but it's not going to be enough, unfortunately. I'm Korean too. Have just a little bit left to go, but surely now will be taking the map here. White Cat and Henry now duking it out with the tallest combos, but there's nothing really that Chippy can do. The biggest combos here from both Henry and Forum at the early stages of the map, simply way too oppressive. And with White Cat and Skrull putting up a good effort, it's not enough against these two control players. I'm Korean too will take the map.
Yeah, that is an unbeatable duo, Forum and Henry.
Man,
gonna put up 650,000 between them. And to be quite honest, I don't know that you can fault White Cat on Skrull on this one. I'm not sure if there are any two players in the game that would have beat Forum and Henry on a map like this.
Yeah, I think Skrull especially actually did quite well on that map.
Yeah.
For a good tournament control player, that is good. Like, it's a shame that you're against the two best players in the world, because I feel like that could actually have been a great score that could have led to your team a win had it not been against a team like I'm Korean too. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm Korean too easy to take that map, and it's up to Chippy to try and bring something now, and it will be the Golden Era DT4 coming in here for this team. I feel like this map, despite being very much in their alley, I think I'm Korean too are at that skill level in this 4v4 map where they can easily make the most of this. Henry, Restia, Window Life, Rectagon, Jean Wuyong, a group of players easily capable of matching the players at Chippy Chapa. But this is the first time we're going to be seeing Chaconi in for this team. And last week, number three individually is very impressive with the caliber of players we have in this tournament. So Chaconi, really the guy you're looking out for here to set a lifetime score to bring Chippy back into their own momentum.
Yeah, I love this pick. This map has, it's your classic DT pick. It has a bit of everything. It's got 263 bursts, it's got some aim, it's got some aim control streams as well. And I think that's exactly what Chippy want. They are the best DT team. They have been the best DT team in the tournament. Between Akolibed, Chaconi, even Skrull, and Intercambion, they have so many players that are so good at this skill set. And while I'm Korean too, do have players that can play this kind of map. We see MCY Boshimen coming in. They haven't shown that ability to match Chippy on the DT picks so far in this tournament, and I think this is where the comeback begins for Chippy. Yes, it is their own pick, but you need to get some points back, stop the momentum from I'm Korean, and especially get Chaconi in. They has been the best performer for Chippy throughout this tournament, and I really want to see Chaconi in for some more maps and see if they can take advantage of his skill sets.
Yeah, absolutely. It does appear like the rosters have been rounded out. This is a strange lineup here from I'm Korean too. I don't know how to feel about this. MCY4 and Boshiman coming DT4? I know they're good control players, and there are aspects of finger control in this, but surely you'd want Window Life and Restia in this at least.
Yeah, actually, interestingly,
beg the question on whether or not they're in the lobby or not.
Yeah, I have to think of Restia as well for this. Interestingly enough, Restia, I don't believe played in the last 2 weeks either, so has not really been playing much for this team. We do see early breaks out of Jung Woo-young and Bashiman. Arnold as well. So currently 3 FCs to 2 early on in favor of Chipi. They're off to a strong start, and that's exactly what they need, but plenty of time in this map. And here we go into the first really tricky extreme tech section. We see more misses coming out of Bashiman and Jung Woo-young. Enry as well. It's almost a full reset for Korean too. Meanwhile, Chipi are holding strong. Akoli, but is found to miss, but everyone else is on massive combos, and they're going to be off to a huge lead early, already winning by 350,000 points. There's going to be a break. Both teams are going to look at the leaderboards, and I'm Korean says, guys, we have no combo. They've got a whole lot of combo. We're going to need some big combo, and so far, not finding it, as another slider break comes through for Jung Woo-young.
Henry, full soul. Takoni rocking the double Pekko on the breaks, representing his favorite VTubers. Can't go wrong with that, can we? Iconic thing about him. But yeah, Shikoni and Camming and Arnold all holding on to great respective combos. Akoli been recovering very swiftly despite that drop. And yeah, this I'm Korean 2 roster is not what they were hoping for, I don't think. Everyone here is struggling. Even Henry, a player who I think would perform great on this, is also struggling on this, unfortunately. Nobody can really build up substantial combo. And as these players start to drop, it's just a Colibad holding on to the big combo. And we're about halfway through, and this lead from Chippy is just insurmountable. Nearly, just now, 700,000 score. This is halfway through the map, I find. This isn't even towards the ending. This is an absolute stomp from this team. Nobody from I'm Korean 2 comfortable. Boschman getting 30k. This isn't a map for Boshi to play. He shouldn't be playing this. No. Why is Boshi playing this?
He should not.
Poor guy, man.
He's just there to suffer.
He's literally in jail. He was forced to play DT4. Like, this is... I feel bad for Boshi. He does not deserve this. He does not deserve to play this, man. The rest of Chippy are just mopping the floor. This score collectively from this team is so much more one-sided. There's not much else you can really talk about. And there's no combo substantially here that really is to take note of. Henry dropping a decent combo just earlier on, but the rest of Chippy are just able to oppress the rest of Entering 2. And this is a bit of a red flag for me, I claim. I'm a little worried now. If they're missing their strong mechanics play, this is a tough sign. I feel like Chippy actually have quite a bit of room to lean into a few more maps now that they know that some of their better players are missing. No Window Life, no Rectagon, no Restia. That's tough. That's your mechanics squad completely gone. DT3 has not been banned either. That's an instant pick for Chippy next time if I'm thinking about that now. I'm Korean 2, unfortunately, not getting a score as all near capable. Granted, not their pick, so not the end of the world, but I'm still thinking like, damn, I'm a little worried now, because if they're missing their strongest mechanics players, the players that are meant to be contesting the strong mechanics players from Chippy, Chippy have way more room now. It's not even like one of those things where they can contest them now. It's like it's a mop. Like, it's a mop. If they pick DT3, that's it. They win. It's not even like a question, honestly. But until we get to that, because of that breakpoint from I'm Korean 2 on the Hard Rock 1, they've got a good room. Even if they sacrifice one of the pick after pick from Chippy, they're not going to have to worry as long as they get breakpointed. And thankfully for them, there's a lot of control. So even then, it's not the end of the world.
Free Mod 1 comes out. Really good stuff from I'm Korean. They're going to be sticking with the ones as much as possible. Forum has been popping off in this match. So pick Free Mod 1, put your star player in, and let them pop off. This is AR 6.5 CS6. This is a very old style map. It feels like it was mapped in 2012, although it was mapped in 2022. There's lots of linear aim, lots of back and forth overlapping jumps. You got some really tough squares thrown in, and I completely agree, Shiba. Rectagon, Window Life have been in for almost every DT for I'm Korean so far in this tournament. So while Restia has been away consistently, that's no surprise to me. Those two are a lot more concerning. So while I think early on, I'm Korean can very much get away with it by just picking the ones, picking the twos, having their best players go in on things like the fours, on things like the DT, the Hard Rocks, missing Window Life and Rectagon could be huge if neither of those players show up. In the meantime, though, we are getting into Free Mod 1. It is a hidden for worst HR player and actually a hidden for Arnold as well. The circles are so small with Hard Rock and the jumps are so spaced. It is misses from both players early on, but worst HR player on a much better recovery, so it's going to be off to a very sizable lead with massive accuracy advantage. 8%. Arnold has already dropped down to 91, is recovering a little bit, but is going to need to find a massive combo advantage. This map isn't super long either, and it's fairly consistent the whole way through. Maybe we can see Forum miss on the squares, and Arnold is going to need to pop off into this second half of this map.
Yeah, that big volatile jump second there is one of the hardest parts of the map here. This specific aim part there is really, really deadly, especially if you're on Hard Rock. Thankfully, both these players are on the hidden, but it's still going to end up tripping Chippy's Arnold here. And I'm sure Intu's West HR player just completely shredding this so far. This section can really trip you up if you're not prepared for it, but it seems like both these players are decently well practiced. Arnold dropping once again. It's just a clear dominant showing over West HR player. This score from Arnold isn't even really that bad considering how horrifically difficult this map is on the hidden. And finally, Forum does get the drop after holding on to a full combo. No, not a full combo, but a giant combo for nearly halfway through the entire map here. And as we start to get into that second half now, it's all the Forum show at the moment. Arnold's trying to hold on, but he just doesn't have any combo to really contest here. A little bit of a slide down section, so maybe a little bit of a chance for Arnold to potentially pop off. But nope, he's going to go down once again midway through, and Forum, despite dropping afterwards, is not going to really matter much at the moment here. Lead still leans in favor of him for a good while. And as we start to approach the final ending section, the sections get way more difficult. The patterning really ramps up in its difficulty, as you'll see very, very soon. And it's just consistent misses from both players. And if you're West HR player holding on to a very dominant early start, it doesn't really matter if you trade misses. You're really hoping for Arnold, if you're a supporter of Chippy, to just get some outlying combo and hope for Forum to break first in the really difficult sections. But it's not the case with this one. I'm sure Intu easily will take this one, 280k and climbing.
Yeah, another dominant performance from Forum, and this is the Forum buff, Shiba. There have been 3 1v1s that Forum has been involved in this match and has won every single one of them. Forum has been a huge part of every win for them. 3 of 4 points were just Forum solo. And that's the power of having a player like Forum on your team who's just so incredibly skilled at such a diverse set of skills. But we're very quickly running out of one, Shiba. They've played the DT1. That went over to Chipi. We've now played the hidden one. We've played the Hard Rock one. We've played the free mod one. Yes, there is still the no mod one open. But very soon we're going to need to see I'm Korean changing up their strategy. And there are a lot of 2s left over. So DT3 coming out from I'm Korean. This one is
That's a ban.
That's a ban. Okay. Yeah. I was going to say a pick would be shocking. It is a DT3 ban. That makes perfect sense to me. They don't want to let Chippy play any more DTs. So last one is going to be banned out. And do we potentially just see them ban out the No Mod 1? Probably not, because it is 222 BPM streams, which is less so in Forum's skill set.
It's a flow aim test overall, but the BPM makes this just slightly out of Forum's comfort zone. Still capable for him, but definitely not something that he really wants to go for.
Yeah, they're going to ban out Free Mod 2 instead. That's the Free Mod tech pick, and that's really smart. We saw what happened on the Hidden 2 tech pick. The Free Mod 2, I expect, would have gone similarly. You just throw in Worst HR to play Hidden. You throw in Enry on the Hard Rock. And there's not many duos that can compete with that lineup. They're going to opt in to No Mod 3. And No Mod 3, this is just going to be a straight up aim pick. This is a really good pick for them, especially with players like Chaconi and Whitecat, who are so good at the aim. Whitecat did have some struggles on Hard Rock 1, but the No Mod 3 it's very awkward, lots of cross streams, but quite a bit more comfortable, in my opinion, than the Hard Rock, because you don't have to worry about that CS 5.5 precision, which I think is a lot of what tripped Whitecat up, right? Not really much of a precision player, but this is basically a farm map. It's very short, 1-2s everywhere, and lots of massively spaced jumps. As we see the lineups get filled out, Forum, Henry, MCY4, no surprises, as well as Whitecat, Akulibed, and Scroll. I am a little surprised to not see Chaconi in over potentially Scroll, potentially Akulibed. That's a surprise to me, but maybe just not feeling it on this one.
I'm a little more surprised to not see Allegrisimo in here for Chippy. Same with Intercambing, has good potential on this. I think they're both missing some really strong players. I mean, obviously Whitecat and Forum immediately 2 players that are instantly going to be duking it out here.
Recti.
Yeah, I think Rectagon could have also been here for this. I think both of these teams are missing quite a few important players here into this match, which does definitely put a little wrench in the works of what we're expecting on this. But this number 3, it's basically number 1, but it's in a number 3 slot. This is aim, and more aim. I don't know how to say it. You see the mapper, you see Grandy Senpai. Yeah, you see Grandy Senpai, you see the star rating, you just know that this is going to be one of the most ridiculous aim tests you have ever seen. And
this is it. Yeah,
this is it. This is your stupid aim map, and you're looking at Whitecat and Forum to really be the biggest contributors to this. But so far, it's actually MCY4 holding on to the leading combo here, plus this intersection. This is consistently difficult and very, very short. So this sprint combo here from MCY is going to really, really help Korean too. But it's only about a 30k difference though, and this general combo here from Bascroll and Whitecat could potentially do wonders for this team. It's still Whitecat holding on, but it's up against Wested Chapa with the drawing combo. This is so short and so volatile. Chippy just have the lead by just a little bit, but it's going to start flipping a little bit if anyone drops here. Whitecat and Akulibed have to hold on, but this collective combo from Korean 2 is going to start suppressing it. There's only a little bit left to go, but there's so many flips here. Oh my god, what are we going to see here? Forum is still holding on to the combo.
Whitecat misses. There's absolutely no holding. Henry finds the miss. This is anybody's game going into the ending. It all comes down to if worst HR play can hold. Akoli finds the miss. I think Forum misses as well.
That might just be it. That might be enough. I don't know what it is. There's no full combo here left for Chippy. But MCY4 is able to hold. He goes down, but Emery still has the leading combo. The collectives here from Chippy is a little bit ahead of them. There's only about 10k difference here. And as we start to go to the ending, it might just be enough. They have to hold on for just a little bit longer. Can anyone drop? Why can't Akulibed go down? It's still Squirrel. It might just be spin to win. It might just be it. No, it won't be the case. Less than 20,000 score in favor of I'm Korean 2. Single-handedly in my mind from Forum's combo. In my mind, Forum absolutely popped off on this. MCY4 as well, unexpectedly doing exceptional work on this. But that was very close and could have easily gone on either team's side. Whitecat, unfortunately, not able to get the combo leading over Worst HR player despite getting the highest score. Generally, on top of that, the team difference. MCY4 and Henry still holding on to consistent combo, better than the other 2 players from Squirrel and Akulibed. That could have gone anyway. But I think overall, Whitecat's carry was not enough, and I'm going to get another breakpoint.
Yeah, boy, that was nerve-wracking, Shiba. You have to give credit to Whitecat. Did get the highest score in the lobby, but unfortunately was not enough. They were just too consistent. That's a second breakpoint given up here for Chippy. Now, I'm Korean have yet another pick. They can put us on match point. We're going to need something big from Chippy to bring this one back, and I think the breakpoint has to happen now. If you go down 6-2, even from mental standpoint, it's so tough to come back from. Hard Rock 3 comes out for I'm Korean, and this is an interesting Hard Rock 3. It is just precision, CS 7.8. It is a fairly alt-focused map, but there is some alt, there is some aim control, but the alt and aim control are certainly not the difficult parts of this map. It is the patterns themselves are relatively simple, generally comfortable if it was any other CS, but the CS 7.8 is going to be the big challenge, and I'm Korean are well poised to take this one, especially with players like Boshiman, like Worst HR Player. We saw what Worst HR Player could do on the Hard Rock 1, which is also the small CS map. Boshi is infamous for these precision maps, and MCY4 are going to round out the roster. Meanwhile, we've got Chaconi, Intercambing, and I have to assume Whitecat is going to be the last player. I suppose we could. Yeah, it is just going to be Whitecat. Makes a lot of sense. And I'm really glad to see Chaconi in. Has been the best performer for this team for most of the tournament. and they're going to give Chaconi a chance to carry here. And man, this is such a throwback. It's such an old song. Pretty well-known map, Wizard's Tower. There's a pretty poorly mapped old-style map that I used to pull all the time in lower rank tournaments. That was absolutely terrible. This one, much better map, thankfully. But here we go into Hard Rock 3. Ken, I'm Korean, move on to match point, or will Chipi start the comeback? Map takes a little bit to ramp up, and you see it looks fairly simple in terms of patterning, but the spacing, the precision is so tough. You have to watch out for the shakes, and very quickly gets into it. You're going to see some longer streams as we get into towards the halfway point of the map, and those are going to be the first big breakpoints. We have actually seen quite a few misses already. Boshi, Whitecat, and Chaconi. So 2 FCs, 2-1 in favor of Korean, and we haven't even got into the meat and potatoes of the map. And there goes intercamming as well. It's all FCs down, and Chipi are in trouble already.
You're really looking at Chaconi to try and do something special on this map. But unfortunately, so far, it's not looking good here for Chipi. M2A4 and Mercy Char player just holding on to great combos, still holding on to the full combos. And we haven't even gone to the most difficult section yet. So many players, all 3 members of Chipi, just not holding on to any good combo. You still got one of the hardest parts of the map to come through here as well. You've got that really long stream section that has those sudden sharp turns that, despite flowing decently well, are very difficult to track properly with those turns, and we're going to start getting into it now. Whoever holds on to this could single-handedly spell the win for their team. You can see it here and there. Any chain misses could really lead to some destruction here. A couple misses there. MCY4 goes down, but the entirety of Chipi are dropping and not able to hold on. 4 and Boshi still hold as well. No trades, no drops that can go anywhere in favor of Chipi. And where's a child player pulling off an absolute clinic so far. Fantastic accuracy on this map considering how difficult this is to really flow. 99.7 ac is absolutely insane. And as we start to approach past that halfway mark here, this is looking all I'm Korean too. Forum and Boshi Man, 2 of the next best precision players in the world, are going to completely destroy this. Boshi Man finally goes down, and so does Mercy Char player, but I think that damage has really already been done. You're really hoping for Whitecat and intercamming to build as much as they possibly can, but you've got a good while, and you've still got halfway of the map left to go with MCY4 and Boshi Man also holding on to good combo to contest those 2 big combos. Whitecat and intercamming have to hold on for a good while for this to be potent. 300,000 score is the goal they're going for. Now, as opposed to that final third is looking more and more dire, they have to hold on to the ending.
But the ending is so tough. The last quarter of this map gets into a really brutal long stream section, maybe the trickiest part of the map, and so far we haven't seen Whitecat and intercamming be able to hold. There goes a miss on nothing from Worst HR player, as well as Boshi Man. All of a sudden there's no combo left on the side of Korean. Whitecat and intercamming still holding, but the question is, how much of the stream can they hit? Intercamming and Whitecat both miss before we even get to the hard part. The door was open, but it closes just as quickly. It's a full reset for everybody except for MCY4, and the chance was there, but I think this is going to spell the end of this map for Chipi, as they are just too far behind. I think there's a little bit of map left to go, but there's really one more stream left, and the score difference is so big. It's going back over ever so slowly, and unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough.
Unfortunately, I don't think it will be. Valiant effort from both intercamming and Whitecat, but it's not going to be the case, unfortunately. For and Boshi Man and MCY4 collectively as a team, they're simply just better. Some good attempts here, but it's not going to be the case. Chipi can't get another map on the board, unfortunately. They can't get more than 2, and I'm Korean 2 are now 1 point away from getting the chance to face Suntan in the Grand Finals and get their revenge. It's just looking so dire the more maps keep running. There's not much else you can really do at the moment. You're just hoping for maybe... What other map does Chipi potentially have? Hard Rock, maybe... Okay, Free Mod 3, maybe. Hidden 4, maybe. Those are your high BPM aim maps. Those are good options. But at the same time, Korean 2 are also really good on it. So it's a gamble for all of your next Chipi favored picks, because the rest of Korean 2 still have players that are good enough to contest it. This is just such a tough situation here for Chipi. What do you do in this?
Yeah, the hidden four is risky, right? I mentioned at the start, this team has not liked the fours historically. They have strong players that can put up good scores when it comes to 2 or 3, but when you need 4 players on the map, especially with only 7 players, they have a much harder time filling out this roster. I think something like the Fremont 3 is quite likely, but maybe they just try and switch it up, right? Completely. It has not been working for them, and while I think tech would be incredibly risky, maybe you need to go. It is going to be the Hard Rock 4 instead. Speed
boy.
tech. I do like this, right? Forum is incredibly good at the tech, but this is 200 BPM. Sorry, 220 BPM. And while I do think Forum is going to be able to play the 200 BPM without too many issues, maybe not 100% comfortably, right? Especially because this map is a bit of a stamina test, but I also really want to highlight how cool tournaments like these are, where these big open rank tournaments, right, where you get these super stacked teams and you get to see players perform on the insanely difficult maps. I mean, Forum putting up 500k on that last map is insane, and it is such a treat to be able to watch so many of these players put up incredible scores live, right? This is not solo where you can grind a map over and over again. This is one take, and it's a treat to watch. Here we go, though. Hard Rock 4 lineups are in Chaconi, Intercambia, Nicolibed, Whitecat. It's actually a really terrifying tech Hard Rock roster for Chipi. I think they could be quite good on this one as a Nicolibed. We'll hopefully load it in a moment. On the other side, Henry, Forum, Zhang Wu Yang, and MCY4. So they don't really have a lot of their Hard Rock Tech players, right? Rectigon is kind of the go-to Hard Rock Tech player, so that's going to hurt a lot, but things are going to be off to a pretty solid start for Chipi as they've all got sizable combos. Chaconi does find a big miss, but traded by Zhang Wu Yang, and MCY4 as well, so no combos left on the side of I'm Korean. Worst HR player does have a nice recovery, but falling far behind a Nicolibed and Intercambing. Whitecat finds the miss now. It's going to slow the bleeding a little bit for I'm Korean, but there goes 2 big misses. Zhang Wu Yang, Henry, and Intercambing a Nicolibed. I don't think that's a disconnect. We'll see if that's Poncho. Okay, still has the combo, still at 650. That is massive for Chipi, and they're going to be able to hold on to their lead, but look at Forum, 500, not far behind. If a Nicolibed misses Shiba, this will go the other way very quickly. Okay, there goes Forum.
He's gone. But
and
so does the trader from a Nicolibed. What is going on with the Nicolibed's client here? I can't tell if he's playing the game or not. We're not able to see the score difference. We just don't know at the moment. But I'm looking at this right now, and it seems to be leaning in favor of Chipi here. A Nicolibed's giant combo of 700 and climbing after a good while, despite dropping, still being the big valuable asset here that's keeping Chipi in this. You still had a good combo from Korean too, especially from West HR player uncharacteristically, but I don't think it's going to be enough, unfortunately. As we go into the ending section here, Chipi just finally able to get a map. I've got to be honest with you, I've completely forgot that this map was a valid option here, especially considering that Rectagon and Winterlife are not present in this. And in turn, I mean, yeah, this is a great map for Chipi, and I'm glad they actually picked this and reminded me of how strong they are on a map like this. It will be the win for them. A Nicolibed being the big X factor for this team. 440k with 700 combo by the halfway point of this map, giving them that pinch that they needed to get that map on the board. It's 3 maps now, but I'm Korean 2 have 1 more pick left to go, and there are plenty of options for this team. I'm still worried about this, despite them getting this win, despite them getting the little bit of momentum back. I'm Korean 2 are able to smack that like a flea to a wall. They can just smack it off and just keep it going. Depending on what that map's going to be, it could spell the end for this team and their odds of getting into Grand Finals, depending on what it's going to be. And we got a lot of options here, iFlame. Do you have any particular maps that you're thinking about?
I certainly do. But I do want to say, like you said, fantastic pick. That one completely flew under my radar as well, because if they had Rectagon, that map looks a lot different in my mind, so it didn't. I never really pinged it, but yeah, I love to see some fight back from Chipi, but now they need 2 breakpoints to stay in this one. In terms of picks, there's lots of options. I think you've got the hidden 3, and they're going to go for no mod 2 instead. That's one of the other ones I was looking at much earlier on in this match. It is tech aim control, very streamy. You've got quads, you've got cut streams. I mean, the start of this map especially is full of cut streams. And Shiba, I've got some fun stats on you for this one. Lots of players on both teams have played this map. Worst HR player, number 2 global on this map, 700 combo. Scroll is number 4 global. And actually, Henry, not on the leaderboards. Neither is Whitecap, but that's going to be the lineups. So I think the players to watch are going to be Forum and Scroll, who are 2 of the best, have very comparable best combos on this map, both with Nomad. And here we go, Nomad 2 into the aim control. You see how tough those cut streams are. Scroll is going to be the first one to drop, thankfully. Whitecat is still holding. Forum is going to trade that back. So right now it is Henry matched by Whitecat, and Forum finds another massive chain miss. Going to drop a ton of accuracy. Scroll is trading, but accuracy advantage. Oh, that's another big miss from Scroll, though, and right now it's just an accuracy advantage.
Whitecat! Oh, Henry!
Oh, Whitecat! Oh, no.
Not only does Whitecat drop on that ridiculous section just there to finish off that first Ki, but Henry hits it in its entirety. That is one of the hardest parts of the map. I was expecting loads of people to drop on that one, but Henry's still holding on to the big combo, giving Korean 2 the lead that they so desperately needed here. And this map really short as well, Lifeflame. We're going into the final third of the map, the final ending here. And as the difficulty starts to ramp up, it's all up to Henry to try and keep something alive here. Korean 2 as their lead still goes ahead. The spacing gets really big on this one as well. You can see those space into those first sections. A full reset from both teams here. But I don't know if that's going to be enough here for chipi. There's nothing they can do. As we start to approach the ending of the map here, Whitecap Squirrel still dropping down. And despite it being traded here from Wasted Child playing Henry, 470,000 score from Henry is the single major carry here to keep Korean 2 in this. We saw this map, we thought maybe there was a bit of room here. Whitecap Squirrel easily capable of setting some good scores on this, but Henry, the Filipino king of the world, one of the best control players in the world for a damn reason, will carry Korean 2 and smash their way into the grand finals against Suntan. What a way to end this off for Henry. Absolute star performance on this map. 705 combo compared to the rest of the lobby. I'm sorry, that is crazy levels of skill on that one. And with that, Korean 2 take it and will be in the grand finals against Suntan. Chippy made an effort, had a few close maps, but at the end of the day, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, that was a valiant effort from Chippy. We saw some big combos, some big scores from both teams, but in the end, it is Korean who will prevail. What a performance. That was an absolute clinic from Forum and Henry especially. Forum won 3 picks on his own. Henry, along with Forum, won 2 2v2 picks as well. That's 5 points right there. And they got a couple of those 3v3 wins, and there was not much that Chippy could do, but this was kind of the expected result. I think Chippy did put up a really good fight. They showed some strong potential. They will place top 3 finally, but 7-3. I mean, I have to brag a little bit, Shiba. Right before this match, I sent you a message and I said, I'm feeling 7-3, and here we are. But let's take a moment to talk about this grand finals matchup. I mean, I will give one more congratulations before I do that to Chippy on their 3rd place. This is an incredibly stacked tournament. Getting top 3 is not easy, and very well played to them once again. Very good effort. But Shiba, grand finals. Korean versus Suntan. I think from the start of this tournament, you look at those rosters on paper, and most people would have told you, oh, it looks like both teams want to play tiebreaker, so forget the grand finals. We'll talk about that after. We've got a tiebreaker to showcase. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time.
We can still talk about the matchup while we're here.
We definitely can.
We do have to shout out this map. This is one of my favorite maps, like full stop. Everlasting Eternity is such a great song. This song, if you guys aren't sure, is from the Beat Saber World Cup Grand Finals, made by Ludison, and an absolutely amazing song. I mean, the guy did amazing work, and Rem made an incredible map out of this for OS, and I mean, you'll be able to witness it here with these players. We might be able to see a crazy pop-off from maybe Wesley Charplayer or Enri.
Yeah, Enri map.
Yeah, I mean, Enri and Wesley Charplayer are two players that I immediately look at to perform really well on this. But please, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the map because this is probably going to be a rare sight. We might not see this against between Suntan and I'm Korean 2 in the Grand Finals. So please feel free to enjoy the map while you may be the only one, this may be the only time to catch. So yeah, I mean, it's incredible map.
Yeah, it's such a great song too. It is pretty tech heavy for a tiebreaker, which definitely would favor I'm Korean too if we had gone to a tiebreaker in this match. But the song is so good. It's such a nice song to listen to, and there's actually so much hype, right? The intensity just keeps going, and I love their variety of tech section. That's like a common thing you see in tiebreakers these days. Is I think most tourneys have tended towards tech-heavy tiebreakers because there's so much variety in what you can do with tech. You can throw in some speed tech, you can throw in rhythm changes, you can throw in slider aim to get your aim element, you can throw in game control streams into the tech section to get that in as well. So I feel like gone are the days where we see consistency tiebreakers or just stream tiebreakers. Those are a lot more rare, and nowadays we tend to see very tech-heavy tiebreakers all around, but for good reason.
Yeah, we might end up seeing more varied mechanics tiebreakers as well. I mean, Vanitas was an incredible map that was in OWC and was a huge success from what I remember. So maybe we'll see those as well. Maybe mechanics will start to lean back in the tournament tiebreaker scene. But as a tech tiebreaker, I mean, this one leans on top of many other maps. I mean, there are very few tech tiebreakers that are as good as this one.
Yeah.
Some I can only really count on my hand.
Chiba?
And yeah,
Say nothing. No, don't say it, Chiba. No, it didn't. I talked about it. I even thought about it, okay? You just have to think about it to curse, I guess.
While Forum was holding, I mean, MCY4 had a full combo before he drops. I mean,
yeah.
So, despite accuracy not being as big of a favor, I mean, still some good combo. It's clear to see that this was an I'm Korean 2 map from the start. But, yeah, that's how you see some potential in this. That's why Suntan don't want to go into tiebreak with this. They're not going to want to deal well on this team. Oh, this is my favorite part of the song. Absolutely love this part. These little violin sections.
So good.
Absolutely.
Let's just let the audience listen. Man.
Okay, we saw some crazy pop-ups actually.
We did.
Oh, God. Yeah, this song's goddamn amazing. I don't know how else to say it. Oh my God.
I mean, this is why I love when we get the TV showcases. Even though it doesn't mean anything, it's so much fun to see players pop off on sections and hit crazy patterns. Like I can't even like envision being able to hit these patterns, but these players are so talented.
This map needs to get ranked or loved. Has to get ranked.
Oh, I agree. I think it's work in progress. Last I checked.
Yeah, Rem had to do. So it wasn't like final, but Rem did have to do a few edits to this map for this tournament specifically, along with some hit sounding. Oh wait, this song is so good. Yes, Henry, my go.
Oh.
This song is amazing. So yeah, as we go into the end of the section, this last section here is really similar to Bookmaker, where you have those kind of repeating, flowy, kind of like circle-y patterns, I guess you could see. And a player like Enri or Fora easily are gonna like this one quite a bit. But yeah, the song's absolutely gorgeous, the map's absolutely gorgeous, and safe to say, Suntan should be really scared of this team on this map.
Yes, they should, and I just want to call out just how talented all of these players are, right? When you see players like Malashevsky or Forum dominating the rest of the field, it kind of makes other players look a lot worse in comparison, and I feel like it's very easy to forget just how talented every single one of these players in these tournaments are, right? I mean, Malice, Forum, Emrak, probably top 3, but all of these players are just at the top of their games. They're so incredibly good at so many skill sets, and it's a joy to watch.
God, I went to the commentator over this song. It would be the best.
Some proper commentary with like a real close tiebreaker where one player's holding the massive combo.
This would be an absolute dream commentator.
I mean, when are we getting Bookmaker TV? That would be something special.
True.
Bring Vaxay back. He had some crazy Bookmaker scores back in the day.
Yeah, Vaxay and Forum for closed. Make it a finals match.
That would be incredible.
That would go up. Anyway, yeah. We're getting into the ending now, and Forum is holding on to the leading combo. Is he going to end this off in style? Can he hit the ending just a little bit past the 500 section? Oh,
really not.
No,
okay.
He goes down towards the end. But that is going to be it.
Yes.
That is the match. And there's a tiebreaker.
Now, we can actually talk about our next match, our finals. It is going to be, of course, Suntan versus I'm Korean 2, 15 UTC tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But it's going to be a really fun matchup. I think, while Suntan are the favorites, in fact, maybe this is a bit of a spoiler for the predictions. I think every single staff member has predicted Suntan to win. But I think I'm Korean has shown that they're not a team to be feared, right? And one thing I'm really looking forward to in tomorrow's match is, are we going to see some of those ones picked? Are we going to get to see Forum and Malashevsky face off on some of these picks, like the hidden one? I mean, that would be incredible to watch. What do you think about the matchup, Shiba?
I really like it. I feel like quite a bit of the pool leans a bit in favor of I'm Korean 2, but I feel like Suntan as a team are actually good enough to be able to contest them on some of those maps. This roster is just ridiculous. I mean, you're really, I am so hyped for this. I don't know how else I can say it, really. Like, you've got some great mechanics players and almost some really good control. Emrek as well, he's going to be able to pop off on everything. This guy's got the highest skill cap in the game, and him plus Malashevsky on any 1v1 and 2v2 map is just going to spell some really tough stuff for him. I mean, you still do have, though, some of the control map. I'm really looking forward to the 2v2s. I feel like you're going to be seeing a lot of Forum and Enri against Emrek and Ristal. That's going to be so hype. I can't wait for that. You're going to be seeing some 1v1s as well. You've got Nineric on the speed. You may see Nineric play the DT1. I still feel like the game plan for I'm Korean 2 is going to be quite similar. You're still going to be a little bit worried about that raw mechanics.
Yeah. And I mean, the one thing that stands out for I'm Korean is today it felt like they could pick into that tech, right? We saw they had quite a bit of strong tech performance, but it's going to be a lot harder. I mean, you look at the team, Emrek, Malashevsky, Kriller, Flying Tuna, you could even throw Matthew in there, Nahus as well. Now, this is a terrifying tech team. I mean, it also doesn't help the 2v2 you mentioned. Having two of the best players in the world, Malashevsky and Emrek, on one team is nearly unbeatable, but you can't count I'm Korean out, right? You see up on in finals, it was 7-5. It was incredibly close. Very nearly went to tiebreaker. A couple of maps could have gone either way. And so, yes, I do think Suntan will have a bit more of an advantage just because Emrek and Malashevsky have such high skill caps, and this grand finals pool is so incredibly difficult compared to previous pools. You definitely can't count I'm Korean out. We've seen what Forum and Enri can do, especially on some of those 2v2s, especially on some of those 1v1s.
Yeah.
Even Nineric versus the Colibet on the DT1 could be an interesting one. There's going to be a lot of good matches.
Yeah, and if both teams have their full rosters as well, I'm going to be so excited for this. This is going to go really, really hard if they have both of their full rosters. I really, really hope they do, just so we get the best of the grand finals. And if we get an Everlasting Eternity DT with stakes, oh my god, that's going to be the best experience ever. I envy our commentators tomorrow if they get a chance to do that, because that's probably one of my favorite maps ever to cast. That and Walking Shadows, that and Waking Shadows. Those two maps are probably my favorite TBs ever. But it doesn't matter. Look, at the end of the day, we got a banger coming up tomorrow,
We do.
ladies and gentlemen. An absolute banger. Do not go anywhere. Last time they faced, Santan just won 7-5 without TB. And that should explain to you exactly why you should be tuning in tomorrow at 16 UTC, I believe you said, right, iFlame? Is it 16 or 17?
UTC.
15 UTC. Got you. 15 UTC, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not have any plans for that time, because I'm willing to bet you're going to have an absolute great time on that one. But until then, please have a great rest of your day. Enjoy. And I know I'm going to be really excited. I can't wait to see tomorrow. It's going to go hard. I've been Sad Shiva. I've been joined by the incredible iFlame. Thank you for Wacom and Drunk Deer for being incredible as our sponsors. Much appreciated. And in case you guys want to make the most of their incredible deals that we have at the moment, iFlame.
Yeah, for Wacom, SSOT40 is the code for 40% off. Huge discounts on all Wacom products. And Drunk Deer, Osu Go, 20% off. The codes are in the chat if you guys are interested. Once again, huge thank you to our sponsors who make all this possible, right? I mean, I have to say, shout out to Fuvel and all the staff behind the scenes who have worked hard to, think of this incredible format, work on the layout. Having a separate layout for 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and 4v4 has been incredible. The graphics have been fantastic, and it's great to see. So huge shout out to those staff. I feel like they don't get enough appreciation. Go support the sponsors if you want to support the tournament. But that is going to be it for us today. One more time, I will remind you all, 15 UTC tomorrow. You do not want to miss it. Be there or be square. I have been iFlame, once again joined by Sad Shiba. Thank you guys all so much for watching. One last congratulations to I'm Korean 2 on advancing to Grand Finals, and I hope you all have a good one. Take care.
Bye-bye.